Today, we're going to be learning about SCP-1048, better known as Builder-Bear. Let's check this out.
Many people are dead.
Oh my god.
The biker bar is stuffed with bullet-riddled corpses.
Oh my god.
Of Hell's Angels. In the city aquarium, several workers and a night guard float dead.
Oh my god.
Being picked at by triggerfish and sharks.
This is a horrible way to start an SCP
site,
video.
Several men stand frozen, their faces locked in forever grimaces of anguish. Just outside town, the bodies of 2 police officers lay scorched beyond recognition. And even further out, the body of an old farmer hangs from the twisted wire of a fence.
I thought going into this was going to be a very friendly, maybe non-Keter class SCP, but it seems like this might be one of the deadliest SCPs I've ever seen.
What could possibly be behind this town-wide carnage? How could one being be the cause of so much death?
Is it really just like a little stuffed animal?
We need only rewind a few hours.
That's it?
6 p.m. Nobody has any idea of the horrors the night has in store for them. But if they knew about one another, they might have some idea of the clues, the little signs that point to something being just a bit off.
I'm so confused.
Over in the biker bar, the big, tough, leather-clad men, their hair tied back with bandanas and their beards twisted into Viking locks, laugh and shoot pool together. They've completed some good scores lately. Nobody messes with them. They own these streets. It's their strength, their intimidation, and most important of all, the cache of guns in the back of the bar.
Okay, so I'm very curious to see where the Builder-Bear comes into play here, because I've seen the Builder-Bear before, but I've never actually learned about where it came from, and I thought it was like this little stuffed animal bear, kind of like the Build-A-Bear that you make. When I was younger, you would just go in, you would pick out your bear or your stuffed animal, and then you would put like a little heart inside. Sometimes you could put in like a little voice box and make it say stuff. It's not really that deadly. At least it doesn't seem like it would be. So I'm curious, where does that come into play here?
One biker among them hears something strange, though. Something rustling in the back room.
It's a bear.
Someone infiltrated the armory. He pulls out his side piece, a revolver with a pearlescent handle, and barges into the armory. But the room is empty.
Whoa.
Not just of people, but of weapons.
Somebody stole everything.
All the gun racks are laid bare. His heart drops into his stomach. Seconds later, he's running back into the bar, demanding that the music be shut off. He sounds the alarm, and bikers start scrambling, as though the missing guns might be hiding under the tables. Little do they know that the truth is far stranger.
Good, that was it. That was the Builder-Bear. If we go back 5 seconds.
Little do they know.
That is it.
The truth is...
That thing is so creepy, dude. It looks like a Terminator, little tiny 1-foot bear, and it has the guns. It has ammo strapped to its chest, and it looks like it's ready to kill everybody. That is amazing.
Far stranger. Over at the city aquarium, they're wrapping up for the day, seeing off their remaining few customers. Janitors are starting their nightly rounds as night guards suit up and prep for patrol. One more marine biologist who works full-time studying the aquarium's many creatures isn't quite ready to go home for the night. She's made herself a new pot of coffee and is on her way to the octopus tank, containing several of the hyper-intelligent, mysterious mollusks. But when she arrives, she sees a startling sight. All the octopi are gone. Shocked and horrified, she calls over some janitors and a night guard. There are a few other possibilities. Either these slimy escape artists had figured out a way to get out and slither away, or someone had stolen them.
This is so weird. So I'm kind of I don't understand how it all connects. It makes sense that the Builder-Bear, which is basically just a little tiny midget Terminator, would steal all of the guns, right? So that it had more weapons and more ammunition to cause chaos. But why would it need to steal an octopus? It doesn't make any sense to me.
She's in a full panic now. These octopi are vital to her research. But when the others arrive, there's no trace of the creatures. There is, however, a strange pair of tiny, wet footsteps heading towards the tank. Before any of them can react to that, they hear a wet slapping sound behind them. Over at a construction site, work is just ramping up. Plans are being drawn up for the night's work, and construction equipment is being vanned in. The foreman of the construction site is pleased with how everything is progressing, and if everyone does their job right, they'll have all their work completed on schedule. He lives in this state of blissful optimism until one of his workers runs over to him in a panic. Someone has stolen 4 bags of cement. The exact 4 bags of cement they need for setting the foundation. As the foreman calls the company manager to profusely apologize for the delays, the construction workers scramble around the site, looking anywhere they can for the 4 bags. It's not uncommon for equipment to get stolen from construction sites, but bags of cement? That's strange. Though not nearly as strange as the creature approaching the foreman, step by careful step, its hard gray skin scratching against itself.
It's so tiny but deadly. And also, guys, I'm noticing a pattern here. It seems like Builder-Bear is a kleptomaniac, which means that it likes to steal random objects and things, and apparently creatures too. It's so far has stolen a bunch of weapons, it's stolen a bunch of octopi, and 4 bags of cement. Now, I'm guessing these are all separate occurrences, but I am kind of curious. What if Builder-Bear is building his own aquarium, and then he's using the weapons to guard the aquarium? It could, you never know. You never know. That could be the case.
A pair of police officers in a squad car receive a call over their radio. There are reports of a break-in at a nuclear graveyard across town. A large stone dome covering up a mess of radioactive material from when the city used to have a nuclear power plant. Someone tripped the alarm on the perimeter gate, and someone needs to get there and apprehend the intruder before they do something they seriously regret. The officers arrive not so long after and see a hole cut into the fence. But the hole is weirdly low and small. Was the person who broke in a small child?
I can't wait to see the Builder-Bear.
Hurry. The 2 officers pull out their flashlights and head up to the gate, opening it and walking through. Just as they're starting to wonder whether they should have brought some kind of radiation guard, they feel a strange, warm sensation on their skin, like a tanning bed, like blistering sunlight.
That's not good.
In the middle of the night. They turn and try to see what's walking towards them. The air seems to distort and wobble, even in the dark. Then, there's a flash of bright, eye-searing light, and both the officers scream.
It's Builder-Bear!
On a farm nestled in the sticks outside the town, an old farmer is carrying out his twilight rounds. He's hammering in fence posts, making sure the sheep, cows, and chickens are fenced off. He's about to turn in for the night when he sees a goat, his goat, wandering out in the fields beyond his own. He doesn't know how this thing escaped, but in any case, he needs to get it back. As he walks to the edge of the farm, he finds out why. Someone has ripped away all the barbed wire from a section of the outer fence. The wire is completely gone.
That has to be so confusing. Just like you're a farmer out in the middle of the forest at night, and you're just like, oh, cool, I'm just gonna like turn it in for the night. And then out of nowhere, all of your barbed wire is missing. Like, who would do that? Who steals barbed wire? It would literally scratch you to death if you tried to steal that.
It doesn't make sense. His mind fills with questions, and one awful, monstrous answer is standing right behind him.
Oh, that's so creepy.
Then, all across town, the chaos begins. Back in the biker bar, there's a quiet tapping amidst the chaos of heavy leather boots tromping back and forth. The tap, tap, tap of metal against wooden floorboards. The bikers turn in unison to the back of the bar, where something small and squat is limping out of the shadows. When it steps into the light, the bikers can hardly believe what they're seeing.
I know that it's supposed to be like really creepy and menacing, but it's so funny to me that this like deadly SCP is literally like basically a little tiny stuffed teddy bear. That's so funny. And I'm also curious too, since we've been hearing all of these stories about how Builder-Bear has, you know, stolen the octopi, stolen the cement, I wonder if there's multiple Builder-Bears. Like, I've only ever known there to be one, but I wonder if this is an SCP that either can clone itself or there's just like a mass amount of Builder-Bears that kind of just roam around and they steal stuff and they kind of like use the stuff that they steal almost to like upgrade their bodies. Like, this guy obviously stole weapons and ammo and guns, so he turned into the Terminator. But I wonder if the other Builder-Bear, since it went into the uranium, like if it used that as a power-up, and maybe it can use the octopi to like give itself giant tentacle upgrades and you know, stuff like that. So before we keep going with the video, I need to tell you guys about my brand new cookie plushies. They're super cute, squishy, and probably the softest plushie ever created. They're so soft, I love them. We have the OG chocolate chip cookie, the sprinkle cookie, and my personal favorite, the zombie cookie. If you guys are watching on a TV, grab your phone, or your mom's phone, or your grandma's phone, and scan this QR code right here. Go ahead, I'll wait. Or you guys could head right on over to BeckBroJack.co. Okay, you guys got it? Let's get back to the video.
It's a teddy bear, a living, walking teddy bear, made out of guns. Its body is an amalgam of stocks and ammo belts. It walks on a pair of spindly rifle barrels for legs. Its eyes are scopes and laser sights, and perhaps most striking are its arms. The left arm is an Uzi submachine gun, and the right is an AA-12 fully automatic drum barrel shotgun.
That is so
the
cool.
Bikers recognize every gun as their own. But before their many minds can compute another thought, the gun bear raises its shotgun and Uzi arms and begins blasting.
No way!
Bullet after bullet tears
Wow!
through the bikers, dropping them one by
That's
one.
insane!
Some scramble for the door, but it doesn't save them.
Nope.
In a matter of moments, as gunshots ring throughout the bar, every single biker is dead.
By a tiny
Over
teddy
at the
bear.
aquarium, things aren't going much better. The marine biologist and her coworkers turn to see a strange figure standing
Oh,
atop
I
the
think
tank.
I was right.
It's in the shape of a teddy bear. But the biologist can clearly see that it's about 5 octopi fused together in some nightmarish and unnatural conglomeration.
Okay, I did not know this about Builder-Bear. I only have seen Builder-Bear, I mean, weirdly enough, from a Minecraft mod, and it usually either looked like a teddy bear or it looked like the Terminator version that we just saw a second ago, where it had a bunch of weapons and guns and grenades strapped to it. I didn't realize that Builder-Bear was kind of like Upgrade from Ben 10, where it can pretty much like take over other creatures and machinery and basically turn its body into whatever it is that it steals. Like, that is so cool.
The tentacles stretch out and grab the aquarium staff, lifting them
Cool,
with
but
impossible
deadly.
strength and force them down into the tank. They struggle and thrash against the slimy tentacles holding them in place underwater, but it's no use.
I wonder why Builder-Bear is
The
so
octopi bear
deadly.
is in total control.
Like, why does it want to kill everybody?
Bubbles rise as the unfortunate aquarium staff struggle, but those bubbles eventually stop.
All right,
Everyone in the tank floats, dead. The work of the octopi bear isn't over yet, though. It drags the waterlogged corpses of the marine biologist, the cleaners, and the night guard across the aquarium floor,
Why?
leaving a wet trail. Eventually, it throws the bodies into the main aquarium tank and watches with a slimy, blank expression as the fish begin to feed.
Oh, why?
Back at the
That's
construction
so
site,
weird.
the workers are frozen, but not in fear. The entity that stepped out of the shadows of the construction site is a teddy bear made of solid cement.
It looks so cute.
Constructed out of the 4 stolen bags. The second the foreman saw it, he called in the other workers to see, dooming them to share his fate. As some of them reach into their jackets to grab phones, eager to take photos, just to see if this truly is happening, the cement teddy bear screams.
What?
It's an awful sound, the screech of metal on metal, like a broken cement mixer spinning off kilter.
Oh my God.
Threatening to explode.
What?
But it doesn't explode. It just keeps screeching. And as it screeches, the workers and the
Whoa.
foreman are frozen in place. As much as they try with all their might, it's like their bodies are turning into concrete.
Huh?
No, it isn't like that at all. That's exactly what's happening. Their skin is
What?
taking on a slate gray hue, becoming rigid and brittle.
Are you serious?
Little by little, their bodies freeze and harden. Their eyes go after all the rest as they watch themselves becoming living statues, trapped forever.
I'm getting
in the shell
goosebumps.
of
That
their
is
own
the
bodies.
scariest one yet.
The cement teddy bear walks among them, and it begins to dance. Over at the nuclear graveyard, another 2
This might be my new favorite SCP.
corpses are about to be interred. That flash of light is actually a localized blast of radiation that would make Chernobyl look positively quaint, frying the officers on a cellular level in less time than it would take for a camera to take a photograph. They lay on the ground,
Wow.
skin burnt, vomiting profusely.
Oh.
They twitch and squirm, not quite dead, but trapped in a void of unimaginable pain. Every thought burned out of their head. Their killer walks towards them on tiny, flat feet. As you may have predicted, it's a teddy bear, a living, walking teddy bear cobbled together out of radioactive material. What it's done to the 2 police officers is horrifying, but if it gets into the city proper, the death toll will quickly climb into the thousands, if not the hundreds of thousands. But the violence and terror of the night is not quite over yet.
Okay, guys, so obviously this Builder-Bear, even though it's cute, it's cuddly, this might be one of the deadliest SCPs that I've ever watched a video on, and I'm kind of curious, like, what would you combine Builder-Bear with if you had the opportunity? I mean, it seems like the deadliest one that we saw so far was Builder-Bear combined with nuclear radioactive material, because then it's basically just like a walking nuclear bomb. But I am kind of curious, what would you try to combine the Builder-Bear with to make it the most powerful thing you've ever seen? Comment down below.
We return to the farm, where a farmer can only just make out a tiny figure stomping across the grass towards him. He hears it before he sees it and whips around, the strange jangling of metal against metal. He immediately regrets not bringing his gun, but it's too late for regrets now. He can see it now. The freakish little teddy bear made out of twisted barbed wire.
What?
Tendrils of the wire strip away from the teddy bear's body and launch towards him like angry vipers.
That's so scary.
They wrap around his body and limbs around his neck and tie him to a fence post.
Ouch.
He tries to struggle, but every movement hurts as more barbed wire cocoons him. Out on the field, the goat looks on with complete indifference. What you just witnessed is a series of horrifying impossibilities.
Yes!
Unless, of course, you're dealing with SCP-1048.
It looks so cute.
A singularly strange anomaly known as the Builder Bear. But please don't let the apparent whimsy of that name fool you. What we're dealing with here is an extremely dangerous Keter-class anomaly.
Oh yeah.
But before we get there, we need to explore some background information on the entity before it revealed its darker side. SCP-1048 is a relatively small and unassuming teddy bear, standing at only 33 centimeters tall. Researchers have studied the materials and composition behind the Builder Bear and found that nothing about it is inherently anomalous. But despite this, the bear appears to be fully sapient and capable of moving of its own accord. While it is incapable of speech, it can communicate through some small gestures, all of which are extremely sweet and affectionate.
That's so weird. Like, it looks like it's friendly and it looks like it doesn't want to kill anything or anybody, but then what we just saw completely is the opposite of that. Like, this thing is extremely deadly and it could explode entire cities if it wanted to.
Yes, you heard that correctly. One of the most surprising things about SCP-1048, if you're only familiar with it by reputation, is the fact that most people who directly encounter it find it endearing and even adorable.
Yeah, it's
cute. It shows
cute.
affection to human subjects by hugging their lower leg, dancing, jumping in place, and even drawing childlike crayon pictures for Foundation janitorial staff.
Yeah, what turns it into this, like, evil creature?
Almost everyone reported positive feelings towards SCP-1048, even D-Class personnel who had tested positive for sociopathic tendencies. Despite its seemingly charming exterior, the inner workings of the Builder Bear's mind still remain a mystery. Attempts to communicate with the anomaly directly have failed, because although it is capable of making simple gestures indicating yes and no answers, it will often simply ignore certain questions. Specifically, it will completely stonewall any questions about its origins, which is partly why the Foundation knows so little except for what it can directly observe. Whether the Builder Bear declines to answer because it doesn't know, or because it doesn't want to share, is an open question.
I'm also, kind of curious, how is it able to communicate? It said that, it can give some small gestures, like it can raise its hand, so maybe they just ask it yes or no questions. But I mean, even then, I don't think that it would want to explain its origin, because obviously the SCP Foundation, they want to figure out where it came from and possibly, how to contain it and maybe even destroy it if need be, because this thing clearly started out as being like cute and cuddly and friendly, but then it turned into something that they couldn't even control.
And while the Builder Bear is capable of drawing pictures, these are purely for the aesthetic value of the pictures themselves, not a means of communication. It's yet another mystery for the enigmatic bear. 7 months after first being contained in Site-24, Foundation personnel were able to first observe the Builder Bear's secondary anomalous effect, the one that gave it its namesake. Its ability to create crude living replicas of itself from various materials. This would be fine and dandy.
Okay, so replicas. So that means that every Builder Bear that we saw in today's video was a replica of the original bear that, either was the Terminator or it was an octopi or whatever it wants to make. It seems like if it gets that material, it can basically just recreate itself using that material.
That these replicas are invariably extremely hostile and dangerous. Dr. Carver, the head researcher on the SCP-1048 case, posited that, in hindsight, the reason that the Builder Bear behaved so affectionately to staff around Site-24 was to lull its victims into a false sense of security, making it easier to collect materials for its secondary anomalous pursuits. Dr. Carver outlined case studies of the 3 most dangerous SCP-1048 creations that have manifested in Site-24 since the Builder Bear started its grim construction project. These creations have been labeled SCP-1048-A, SCP-1048-B, and SCP-1048-C.
So these are all of the replicas.
I'd like to personally warn you that the accounts of these 3 devious bears are disturbing beyond belief, even by the standards of anomalies studied by the SCP Foundation. During the first incident, SCP-1048 was spotted working with SCP-1048-A
What is
down
that?
the hallway in Site-24. 1048-A is similar to its creator in size and shape, except that it's
Ears?
made entirely from human ears.
What?
Dr. Carver was immediately alerted to the
Dudes!
creature's presence.
No!
He dispatched a security team to apprehend
Burn
both
that
anomalies.
thing with fire.
However,
that is
what
gross.
seemed like what would be a simple mission instead became a nightmarish case of mass death. As soon as the security team surrounded the two bears, 1048-A let out an impossibly loud, ear-piercing shriek that induced physical pain in everyone within a 10-meter range.
Wow.
But we're not just talking about hearing loss here. Everyone within hearing range began collapsing, growing
What?
ears all
Whoa.
over their body,
Whoa.
covering every inch of their skin. The two bears managed to escape during the chaos, and
Whoa.
Dr. Carver arrived just too late to make any difference. Though luckily for him, he was at least able to avoid becoming an ear-abomination. This incident resulted in personnel deaths in the double digits. The cause of death, mainly suffocation from all the ears that had grown in the throats and lungs of all those affected. 1048-A has still not been contained.
Oh, it's still out there?
While 1048-A was hardly a walk in the park, 1048-B was, in this humble scientist's opinion, considerably more revolting.
Are you serious?
I will have to tread carefully here, as the creation of 1048-B is an extremely traumatic incident
could it
for
be?
an active duty member of Foundation personnel who still works at Site-24 to this day. In order to remain within the bounds of good taste, we'll say that 1048-B looks
Whoa.
like a frightening cross between a plush teddy bear and a human infant.
Are you serious?
Before the creation of 1048-B,
No.
the anonymous researcher I mentioned earlier was heavily pregnant.
Oh my goodness.
Afterwards, she was not.
What?
The less said about that, the better.
What?
Moving on. The third of the documented SCP-1048 creations is perhaps even more frightening and dangerous than the other two.
Are you kidding me? They get worse?
1048-C was first spotted by Dr. Carver himself, lurking in his office. 1048-C is another living teddy bear,
What
made
is that?
entirely from rusted scrap metal and jagged
that's
blades.
horrible.
The second that Dr. Carver spotted the metal monster, it got away, fatally slicing and dicing its way through a number of Site-24
Yeah.
guards during its escape.
You can't contain that. It's like a bunch of just scrap metal that could cut you and give you all types of diseases running around. Like, even if you touch it, you're going to get cut up.
Like the other two, it has not been sighted since the incident and is presumed to be still active somewhere in Site-24.
Where are they
potentially
going?
ready to pop out at any moment. It brings a whole new meaning to the term bad news bears. Those well-versed in the anomalous files of the SCP Foundation may be feeling a strange flicker of memory right now. That's because SCP-1048 isn't the only anomalous teddy bear out there.
Oh.
And its counterpart,
Oh.
SCP-2295,
There's more.
the bear with a heart of patchwork, seems to be its perfect opposite in terms of temperament.
Interesting.
It goes without saying that SCP-1048 and its terrifying copies are a menace to everyone it encounters.
That's what it seems like.
But the bear with a heart of patchwork endeavors to save injured human beings whenever it can.
Oh, wow.
If this benevolent bear discovers a person with a severe injury or a disease causing organ failure, it will immediately leap into action. Like a cuddly trauma
Aw.
surgeon, SCP-2295 will take a needle and thread and begin making a fully functional plush organ out of its own material.
That's kind of cool. I mean, this one, I'm not going to lie, it looks a little bit creepy with all of like the stitch work and the X's on the eyes and everything. But it is kind of funny because this one is the good one. And the other one, even though it looks cuddly and friendly, it's actually all fake. It's just trying to lure people in so that they think that it's friendly. And then boom, it'll spawn in literally every bad thing that you could think of in the form of a teddy bear to destroy everything.
It will then attempt to perform transplant surgery, and if the surgery is successful, this patchwork organ will function exactly as a regular one.
Okay, that's really
the
cool.
bear has saved many lives like this. In fact, SCP-2295 is so benevolent that in cases where the surgery fails, it's been witnessed doubled
Aw.
over and crying over the loss of
Poor
life.
little guy.
This is a courtesy that you cannot expect if your life is brought to an abrupt demise by one of SCP-1048's
Yeah,
many copies.
nope.
The containment procedures for SCP-1048 have undergone considerable evolution as the Foundation learned more about the entity's anomalous effects. Originally classified as safe before its secondary characteristics manifested, the anomaly is now classified as Keter.
As it should be.
Its original containment procedures are also shockingly lax given what we know now. 1048 was given free rein to wander around Site-24 and interact with personnel to
Okay, that should never happen. Like, if you are in the SCP Foundation, how could you ever let an SCP just roam freely, even if they are safe? Like, you shouldn't just let it run around free because of situations just like this, where it seems like it's safe, but it's smarter than you. So it literally tricked the SCP Foundation into thinking that it was one thing when it was actually the other.
Heart's content, a policy that we now know had terrible consequences. Technically speaking, SCP-1048 isn't contained. Many believe that it still lurks somewhere inside Site-24.
Oh, they don't know where it is.
Nobody can know this for sure.
What?
The orders for all active Foundation personnel is to apprehend SCP-1048 on site and to immediately destroy any of its deadly creations with extreme prejudice. The dangers posed by SCP-1048 are so great that even non-anomalous teddy bears are banned from Site-24 to prevent any potential confusion.
Wow.
Any object resembling a bear is to be reported to the site security team to avoid a potential mass casualty event. Dr. Carver appended a note to SCP-1048's containment procedures saying, "This is not a joke. We have no idea what SCP-1048's full capabilities are. Who knows how many of the damn things are out there by now?"
That is true.
It's a disquieting thought, to say the least. The Builder-Bear is one of the most peculiar and dangerous self-perpetuating anomalies out there, with incredibly unpredictable abilities across its different iterations. If you want to stay safe, my recommendation is to be wary of any stuffed bears you may see lying around. If you're lucky, it's just another adorable plush creature. If you're unlucky, well, I hope you've made all the proper arrangements.
Let's go into this, boys.
Rises over the battlefield. The American flag flaps gently in the wind. The world is silent. Bang! The door slams open, and the boy runs out of the house, making plane noises with his mouth. The toy bomber in his hand arcs and soars, dipping and diving, as it makes its imaginary bombing run around the backyard. Over the sandbox, swooping low through the thick grass, past the pond, under the swing set, and up and away into the sky, climbing higher and higher in the direction of the treehouse, with its American flag flapping in the morning breeze. What a perfect day. The boy breathes in the air deeply and looks around. His shoulders slump. He's bored already. 2 seconds in the yard and he's already bored.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna make just a little prediction like I do in these SCP videos. So, based off of the title alone, I'm going to guess that maybe this kid's parents are SCP facility workers. Maybe they're scientists, and maybe one of them accidentally brings home an SCP called Militaristic Play-doh, and the kid thinks it's an actual toy, and then he starts playing with it, and then the SCP slowly and steadily starts to take over all of his toys, and it actually turns into like the bombers and the tanks, and maybe even like soldiers that actually do damage and like can fight for you and stuff. And this guy will be the new president of the United States just because he has the SCP. That's my prediction.
What is there to do out here that he hasn't already done? He's played in the sand, he's swung on the swings, he's climbed up to the treehouse. He hears the car engine kicking into life somewhere out front. His dad's voice carries over to him on the breeze.
Oh.
"I'm running late for work, I'll see you later. If you find my bag anywhere, don't go looking inside of it, just tell me where it is when I get home. Love you, bye."
Okay, wait a second, guys. That is definitely it. The dad literally just told the kid not to do something, which obviously, what does that make the kid want to do? It makes him want to look inside of the flipping bag. This dad is stupid.
The wheels crunch through the gravel driveway, and the engine sound slowly fades into the distance, leaving the boy alone in the backyard again, with nothing but the wind for company. Great. Now he's got to find something to do for the whole day. He throws the toy bomber to the ground in frustration. A wing snaps off and bounces away into the flower bed. Uh-oh. He'll need to fix that before Dad gets home. Super glue. That'll do the trick. There must be some inside. His dad is always fixing things. But the boy's mission is almost immediately sidetracked. As soon as he steps into the house, he spots his dad's bag right by the back door, where he always forgets to look. The boy looks at it curiously for a moment. He wonders what's in there that his dad told him not to look at. He'll just have a little peek.
Okay, if the SCP is inside of this briefcase, that is the worst dad on planet Earth. How could you know, first off, that there's an SCP inside of your house with a child? Like, that is crazy. That is insane. And then you leave it there? You cannot leave the house knowing that you left an SCP at home, especially one like this, which is probably a Euclid or a Keter class. You can't do that.
Not a proper look. He won't even open the bag all the way. Just a little look inside. If anyone asks, he'll say he was looking for superglue. Wait, what's that? It can't be. A little pot with a red lid and big cartoonish letters on the side. Play-doh? What's his dad doing with a pot of Play-doh in his bag?
Good question there,
his dad had a
son.
really grown-up job. That's what his mom always says. His dad has a very secret grown-up job, very important, very secret. Is that really what he does at work all day, play with Play-doh? The boy is far too grown up for Play-doh. He hasn't played with it for years because it's for babies.
No, Play-Doh's awesome.
Nope, he's a big boy who plays with real toys. But still, a little look won't hurt. He'll take it out, squeeze it in his hands a bit, remember how babyish it is, and put it back.
Don't do it.
He definitely isn't going to play with it.
Don't do
The boy
it.
pops the red lid off and
Don't
peers inside.
do it.
Yep, just as he thought. Boring. Just a lump of red putty. Sitting there being all
I'm getting really
all
nervous.
boring. But as the boy tips the pot out into his hand, it feels a bit weird.
Oh,
It moves a little in his palm.
boy.
Is there an insect inside it or something? It feels like a pair of little legs.
What?
He rolls the lump over into his other hand and peers at it. Yes, a pair of legs sticking out from the red ball. Only they're not insect legs at all. They're tiny, about the size of insect legs, but there are only 2 of them.
Okay, guys, comment down below what you would do in this exact situation. You found your dad's briefcase, you take it out, and you play with the Play-Doh, and the Play-Doh turns out not to be normal Play-Doh, and it has little tiny legs that are kicking outside of the Play-Doh. What the flip do you do? Comment down below. Personally speaking, I'm pulling out the legs, right? Like, what else would you do, honestly? Either that, or I'd probably go tell my mom and tell her that dad is some sort of sorcerer that can turn Play-Doh into living people. But I'd probably do the first thing.
They're totally red, matching the color of the Play-Doh, and seem to have a tiny pair of boots on the ends of them. The legs wiggle around helplessly, sticking up into the air, until all of a sudden, a hand appears sticking up out of the clay.
Hello.
It looks like a tiny person has somehow been buried in the Play-Doh upside down. The hand gets a good grip on the red ball and pushes and pulls at it, steadily freeing the rest of its body.
Oh, it's a toy
fully
soldier.
formed tiny man pops out of the surface. Roughly the size of the boy's
That's so
fingernail,
cool.
The little red man stands up straight
Wow.
and takes in his surroundings. Not only is the tiny person wearing boots, he's also got a backpack and a helmet on his miniature head.
Does he have
all
a
made of
gun?
Play-Doh. In fact, this tiny person looks just like one of those little green army man toys that his dad had when he was little. The little soldier looks up and sees the boy staring down at him, jumping back in fright. The boy laughs. He guesses he must look pretty scary to someone so small. He smiles at the little army man. The little army man very slowly lowers himself down to his knees, reaching down to the Play-Doh floor he's standing on.
Well, is he going to grab a
The little
gun?
red hand seems to be feeling around for something in the putty.
Oh, he's definitely looking for his weapon.
Fascination, the boy stares closely as the Play-Doh
No,
under the soldier's
squish him.
hand
Squish
morphs
him like
into
a
the shape
bug.
of- What is that?
A gun.
Gun.
Whoa.
The soldier lifts the tiny red rifle to his shoulder and points it straight at the boy's eye.
Oh, no.
He fires, and to the boy's surprise, something comes out. A stream of teeny tiny Play-Doh bullets pepper his eyeball.
Oh, my
The boy
gosh.
throws the Play-Doh ball as hard as he can and blinks hard.
Okay,
A tiny
good.
scream goes.
I thought for a second that the Play-Doh little toy soldier, when he built the gun would have like actual gun-like tendencies and he would have just like killed the kid. But luckily that's not what happened, and it actually just shot out little Play-Doh pellets. I still don't understand how that works, but it's way better than him actually like firing a real high-powered weapon.
With it. The bullets didn't really hurt that much, but his eye is a little watery now. The tiny soldier has a real working tiny assault rifle. He's starting to understand why his dad is still playing with Play-Doh. Where did that Play-Doh go? He must have thrown it into the backyard. The boy runs outside and looks around. There it is, just next to the sandbox. He creeps up to the ball cautiously, trying to see if the little soldier is still there. Wait, hang on. There he is. No, there he is.
Oh,
Is
there's
that another one?
more.
He kneels and peers at the small crowd gathering around the ball.
Oh my gosh,
Can't
there's
quite
so
believe
many.
What he's seeing. Dozens of little men are milling around the red ball, with more marching out of it in formation every few seconds. Little red Play-Doh tents are
What?
being erected in a perimeter around the ball.
But you would think they would run out of Play-Doh by now. I mean, look, they built, how many soldiers is that? That's like 69 soldiers and they have 2 tents and it looks like they still have a giant ball of Play-Doh left. I mean, honestly, guys, it is pretty cool. When I was younger, And I'm sure when you were younger too, and if you're still younger, like this would be such a cool thing that if you had Play-Doh and like you built stuff with it, that it would just come to life. That would be the coolest thing ever. Hold up, ladies and gentlemen. Did you guys get your cookie plushie yet? Because if you guys didn't check them out yet, make sure you guys scan this QR code right here. Or you guys can head over to BeckBroJack.co. You guys are definitely gonna wanna go quick because my brother Dirt Boy already bought 300 of them from the last time that I saw you. So if you guys want one, you should go get one. Back to the video.
A couple of tiny soldiers chop down a twig with tiny red axes and start a campfire. A mini red jeep weaves its way
How'd they
through the
make
grass,
fire?
and a general hops out with a cowering officer by his side. The tiny general barks tiny orders. It's difficult to hear what the man is saying, but it sounds like he's speaking English, only really high-pitched. He points to a group of soldiers who immediately rush over to the ball of Play-Doh and pull a ladder out of it. They rest the ladder against the edge of the sandbox, and a couple of them hurry their way to the top. Climbing up onto the wooden board, the pair of them split up, rifles in hand, checking the area is clear.
Okay, it is kind of strange, guys. It seems like this militaristic Play-Doh has some sort of objective. Like, we don't know exactly what that is, whether it's to take over the world or to take over a sandbox. We don't know exactly what they're doing yet, and it's kind of making me a little bit creeped out because I don't know what their intentions are. I don't know what the heck they're doing, but for the most part, every single SCP wants something. Like Shy Guy, for instance, doesn't want to be seen, so he like hides and doesn't really, come into contact with people. The statue wants to be seen, so every time you look at him, he doesn't move, but when you don't look at him, he attacks you, and it seems like every other SCP kind of has some sort of motive, but I don't know what these guys are doing. So, I don't know. Comment down below your thoughts.
The general is the next up the ladder. He surveys the yard with a battle-worn wariness, eyes coming to rest on the treehouse. He pulls out his binoculars and takes a good hard look at it, studying every inch of the tree before
They're going to
spotting the flagpole
conquer.
rising from the top. Lowering the binoculars with evident satisfaction, the general points a tiny hand at the enormous tree and cries out an order at the top of his little voice.
He said smash like and
A
subscribe.
high pitch rises from the troops on the ground. They pump fists and slap backs. The army has grown already. As the boy looks back down at the platoon gathering in the grass, he sees a dozen more tents have sprung up.
That is
A group
so
of soldiers
cool.
stand in formation around the ball of Play-Doh, keeping watch in every direction. And there, a soldier sits on an acorn crying.
Why?
Helmet in his hands, he weeps openly.
Huh?
There is a red cross on the tent next to him. That must be the medical tent. The boy crouches down on all fours and peers inside the tent. There, on the tiny red bed, surrounded by tiny red nurses, lies a soldier. His legs are bent out of shape,
Ooh.
and he's crying out in pain. A doctor approaches and gives him the bad news before readying the saw.
What?
The boy sits back up. He can't watch. A high-pitched cry echoes from the tent, loud enough to dampen the commotion around the rest of the camp. The boy recognizes that scream. It's the same scream he heard when he threw the Play-Doh out of the door. That first brave soldier, defending his brothers in arms from the giant. What had the boy done? The soldier outside the
he
medical
injured
tent
him.
picks up the phone and informs the tiny soldier's tiny family what had happened. He had lost both his legs, but not his life.
No.
He was a hero. The battalion is mobilizing.
So wait a second, are they going to attack this like 10-year-old kid named Jimmy? He didn't really do anything that wrong other than, throw one of their comrades and he had both of his legs chopped off. But other than that, I mean, he's pretty innocent in this war. Is it a war? What are they doing? What is happening?
No time to mourn. Snipers climb the ladder
Oh my
onto the edge of the
gosh.
sandbox and set up nests all along the wooden beam as trucks rumble through the thick grass below. On the other side of the sandbox wall, a desert platoon makes its way through the scorching heat. Soldiers sit atop tanks,
How much
shaking
Play-Doh
the
do
last
they
remaining drops of
have?
doughy water from their red bottles and wiping sweat from their brows. All of them heading in the direction of the treehouse. The boy stands up, surrounded by tiny soldiers. He has to be careful where he steps now as they fill the
Stomp
grass
on
around
them.
him. A couple of tanks rumble between his feet, flattening the blades of grass as if they were as weak as, well, blades of grass. All of the soldiers, all of the equipment and vehicles, everything is coming from the little ball of red Play-Doh. And little is the right word for it. With every new unit deployed to the front line, the ball shrinks slightly. It's getting smaller and smaller by the minute. They're going to need reinforcements. The boy rushes into the house and returns in just a few seconds.
Oh,
arms
no!
laden with Play-Doh.
Why is he doing this, bro? I mean, honestly, if I was a 10-year-old kid and this started to happen, I'd probably do the same exact thing. I would want to see them take over as much as possible because that is super cool that your Play-Doh has come to life. Literally, your Play-Doh has turned into like an entire army, so I would want to see it play out.
He's got every pot of it from when he was little. He pops them all open, one after the other, and throws them onto the ground in the midst of the camp. The only slight
that is a nice touch that they're gray, because honestly, mine also turned like either gray or brown, because I would always combine the colors together, and then eventually you just combine too many colors together, and then it kind of turns into a mess.
Is that all the Play-Doh is that gross brown color that it goes when you mix all the colors together. That won't matter, will it? Gunfire breaks out almost immediately below him. The boy jumps back in surprise, stepping on a communications mast by accident. Tiny brown soldiers rush out of the Play-Doh balls all around the camp, diving into cover and opening fire.
Wait a second, so the kid also had militaristic Play-Doh since he was a kid? There's no way, right? Because he definitely played with them before, but this didn't happen. So maybe the SCP-705 can spread to other Play-Dohs that are like in the area.
The Red Soldiers. It's a massacre. Red soldiers taking a rest from the front line, calling their loved ones, getting ready to go home on leave, lying injured in beds. All of them are gunned down. Most don't even have a chance to grab their rifles. One brave Red soldier sprints to the communications mast and tries to radio the rest of the battalion, telling them what's happened, but the mast is destroyed. A stray bullet catches him in the side of his head, and he crumbles to the ground, just a lifeless blob of Play-Doh. The boy watches in horror as a couple of brown soldiers pick up the body and toss it into the nearest ball of brown Play-Doh.
Oh my gosh!
A dedicated team of them mix the body in with the rest of the dough until it's that same brown color.
What?
From the blob emerges a new brown soldier. The small red streak running across his heart is the only sign that he'd ever been a Red at all. The soldier quickly disappears amongst the mass of helmets and boots.
Oh my gosh, they turned him into one of their own. It's like a virus.
The whole yard erupts in tiny warfare. The Red snipers lining the walls of the sandbox are picked off one after the other. The desert platoon are ambushed by landmines and quickly surrounded, hiding in
I wish I had popcorn. This is so cool.
All around them. Before long, the brown troops have them completely surrounded. One last soldier bursts out from the hatch in his tank, holding grenades in each hand. The bullet catches him in the head before he can even finish his war cry. The grenades explode harmlessly.
Oh my god.
The Red convoy, on its way to the tree, stands the best chance of survival. The boy follows them with fascination, watching as the Brown Army fight their way through the Red line from the back, splitting it through the middle as their superior firepower makes sure.
See, I don't understand why the 10-year-old kid, like, why doesn't he just help them? Obviously, he sees that they're all fighting, and I don't know what side he's technically on, but if I was him, I would just start stomping all of the gray soldiers and just be like a giant Kidzilla that's smashing and, like, crashing and destroying everything in existence. That would be my personal dream. That would be so fun.
Transport and supply trucks. Some Red soldiers dive away into the thick grass, climbing up dandelions and weeds in a desperate attempt to escape.
I don't know why that's so funny.
As the bodies fall back into the mud like raindrops. A tiny screaming noise fills the yard. The boy turns around just in time to jump out of the way of the brown fighter jets. 5 of them streak through the air, almost at his head height.
No.
Missiles fire out of the bottom of each jet.
Are you kidding me? What in the world?
The remains of the Red convoy.
They have planes?
The gunfire dies down within the hour. Skirmishes break out across the yard as brown patrols pick off the stragglers they find from the Red Army hiding in ants' nests, under fallen leaves, and huddling around broken-down vehicles. The boy watches as several high-ranking officers gather in the Brown base to oversee the absorption of the last of the Red ball of Play-Doh. They mold themselves a big meeting table with a brown map of the yard and plot out their strategy for taking the treehouse for themselves, moving around even tinier little model units across the surface of it with sticks.
Okay, this is getting way too realistic.
Comes together before the boy's eyes and under his feet. A series of mortars and surface-to-air missiles are deployed along the wall of the
missiles?
The Air Force takes over the original Brown base, chopping down blades of grass and laying out Play-Doh runways flanked with brown hangars. A ring of military units surround the base of the treehouse, strategizing about how best to ascend the colossal structure and reach the flagpole. In the pond, an aircraft carrier splashes into the water,
you kidding
marking
me?
the arrival of the Navy.
No
The ship is soon
way.
flanked by a pair of destroyers.
This is all playing out in a backyard.
Armed with anti-aircraft missiles. The boy is about to go over and peer into the water to try and spot a nuclear submarine.
Nuclear submarine?
Shore eyes. Red soldiers, not much more than a single squadron, hunkered down around the base of the swing set. They've covered themselves in dirt and little clumps of moss to camouflage. They must be the forwardmost scout squadron, just far enough away from that original convoy to escape the slaughter. But what are they doing? The units are all gathered around a pile of leaves. There's something underneath. What is it? It looks like plastic. Of course.
Oh, it's his
toy bomber
plane.
with the broken wing.
Oh.
Trying not to draw the attention of the brown army, the boy drops to the ground next to the red unit, doing his best
He's
to hide
joining
in
in on the
grass.
fight.
The red soldiers are arguing amongst themselves. The general is there. He's survived, but barely, slumped against a blade of grass. The scouts' high-pitched arguing is a little too quiet for the boy to make out, but it's pretty clear what's going on. They need to get the toy plane working, but it'll be hopeless without the other wing. He lifts his head and looks around the yard. There it is, in the flower bed, but it's surrounded by brown troops. How could the red soldiers possibly fight their way to it and get back
Just
on
help
board?
them. Just
Oh,
you go
wait.
do it.
The boy just gets up, walks over to the flower bed, and picks up the wing. In about 3 seconds, he completes an insurmountable effort for those little soldiers. Kneeling next to them, he offers the missing wing. The scouts all stand back warily.
Just
It's
take
the
the
general who
wing.
climbs to his feet and walks over to the boy. He looks at the plastic wing, looks up at the giant towering over him, and raises his arm in a salute.
Salute.
The others follow suit quickly.
Thank you,
and get to work
Kidzilla.
repairing the toy plane. Brown soldiers notice the commotion and start to close in on them.
No,
They
just
don't have
start
much time.
kicking.
The boy
Stop
stamps out a
them.
runway for the soldiers in the grass. The plane is almost ready to go, but is missing one vital piece of the propeller.
What?
Only there's a bigger problem. They're out of red play-doh.
Oh no.
A brown soldier breaks through the thick grass and rushes towards the squadron, his assault rifle peppering the side of the plane with doughy bullets. The scouts all dive into the vehicle and kick the engine into gear. Little red gears and pistons whir into life beneath the plastic, but the plane just isn't moving without the propeller. What can they do? The brown soldier stops in his tracks, staring at the plane. The boy peers at him closer. There's a red streak across his heart. Conflict contorts the tiny soldier's face. The door to the plane opens, and out steps the general.
Okay.
The two soldiers face each other on the runway, the red scouts desperately calling the general to get back in. None of them move. The brown soldier raises his rifle and shoots the general in the
What?
head. The older man
No.
crumples to the ground.
No
Inside the
way!
plane, the scouts start to panic. They don't have their guns with
Can
them.
they turn him
Brown
into a
army is bearing
propeller?
down on them from all sides. What can they do? The brown soldier with the streak across his heart walks slowly over to the general's body, stoops down, and picks him up. He carries the body around to the front of the plane.
Yes,
and
that's
without a
what they're
word,
gonna do.
Starts using the play-doh to build them a propeller.
He
Brown
got
soldiers
turned into
burst
a
through the grass,
propeller.
swarming the runway. They need to leave, now or never. The brown soldier places the propeller onto the
Thank
plane
you,
and
General.
steps aside as the
You will
vehicle
fly
roars
high.
off along the runway. He salutes the ascending plane as one of his brown compatriots puts a bullet in his chest, right through
Oh
his red heart.
no.
But the plane is already away, lifting off into the sky. The toy bomber dodges and weaves its way between the whizzing bullets. It banks hard, pulling the nose around inch by inch to face the treehouse. The pilot guns it, pulling the tiny stick back sharply.
Imagine like the neighbor's kids are watching from next door and they're like, yeah, you're not allowed to play with that kid anymore. He's weird.
It seems to take an age for the bomber to climb. The boy glances behind him just in time to see the Brown Navy launch their missiles, 6 of them, all making a beeline. for
How
the
do
bomber.
they have
Or
missiles?
so it
They are
seems.
made out
At
of
the last
Play-Doh.
moment, He sticks a hand
Play-Doh,
out and
I
slaps
say.
the missiles out of the
Oh,
air.
he
A
literally
couple of them
just stopped
explode,
that.
leaving streaks of brown Play-Doh on his hand. The others spiral to the ground, where tiny soldiers dive for cover.
Take
Ground Air
that.
Force scrambles, but it's too late. As the jets shoot across the yard, the bomber has already reached its destination. The scouts jump out, deploying red Play-Doh parachutes as
What
they
is
circle
up
their
there
way
that
down
they
onto the
want so bad?
flagpole. A jet catches up to the bomber and blows it out of the sky. The scouts don't have time to mourn their lost pilot, or any of their dead for that matter. Quick as they can, they cut the American flag free. As it flutters and floats down to the grass, the squadron unfurls its replacement, a red rectangle of Play-Doh,
red
barely a couple of inches
rectangle.
across. One of them pulls a bugle from his pack and plays the highest
Does
pitch
that mean
version
they
of
won?
the last post you could ever hear. The whole battlefield falls silent to listen. The boy places a hand over his heart just as the first drop of rain hits his shoulder. From somewhere inside, his mom's voice calls. It's about to start raining. Come inside before you catch a
Does
cold.
she not
I'm
see
making
this
cocoa."
happening?
The boy grins and runs into the house. Outside, the rain pours, and all trace of the war washes away
Wow.
into red and brown streaks in the dirt.
How about
And with
that?
you'd be forgiven for thinking that SCP-705 had never even been in that young boy's backyard.
Yeah, honestly, guys, I am very, very confused, especially because the mom came outside and she didn't say anything. So is this SCP actually real, or is it just like a figment of his imagination?
Most adults would just dismiss the boy's afternoon entertainment as a figment of a child's imagination, but most adults have not encountered SCP-705, otherwise known as militarized Play-Doh. The results of a redacted megacorporation's research into creating a self-molding product The specific mechanics of how this militarized Play-Doh was created are hazy, to say the least. What is known is that the small red blob of what appears to be the popular children's sculpting toy exhibits aggressive militaristic tendencies. As soon as the 5-ounce pot is opened, SCP-705 activates, forming itself into miniature Play-Doh soldiers. Each unit comes dressed in detailed and accurate military fatigues, carrying miniaturized weaponry and equipment, all of which...
Yo, I know Toys R Us is out of business, but I don't know. Somebody has to take notes and make this real, just a little less deadly.
Identically to their real-life counterparts, aside from one small detail. Everything is made entirely from Play-Doh. When active, SCP-705 can divide into hundreds of infantrymen, each of which seems to have some level of personal autonomy. As of yet, no hive mind mentality has been observed between the soldiers. They all communicate as their real-life military equivalents would, through barking orders, strategizing, and working together. Upon activation, each instance of SCP-705 is highly territorial, seeking to take immediate control of the nearest location or object that seems to be of strategic importance.
That's so funny.
This could be anything from a coffee machine to a treehouse.
Coffee
what appear
machine.
to be innocuous household objects to us pose an incredible tactical advantage to the tiny soldiers, many of whom are willing to sacrifice their lives to take control. The longer this militarized Play-Doh is allowed to roam free, the more advanced the military unit becomes.
Oh,
Leadership
cool.
figures emerge, battle plans grow more and more advanced, and technology improves. While the Play-Doh may initially take the form of a handful of infantry units, if left to their own devices, these units will soon be riding on the backs of tanks, firing miniguns through the doors of attack helicopters, or even developing rudimentary navies and air forces. And
That
of course,
part's
you have
crazy.
seen what happens when SCP-705 comes into contact with a regular pot of Play-Doh. The otherwise harmless putty will take on the same characteristics as this militarized Play-Doh. If the two groups of soldiers are the same color, they will form an alliance. If they are
Oh.
different colors, well, that's where the fun begins. Containing SCP-705 is relatively straightforward. Simply gathering all
Yeah,
the
it seems
Play-Doh
pretty
together
easy.
and putting it back into its 5-ounce pot with the lid closed will neutralize the tiny army entirely. This, coupled with how harmless the tiny, doughy bullets are, means that SCP-705 requires little security. It is housed in Sector 2 safe SCP containment with the lid closed. The only accidental outbreak that has occurred since its containment has been in the break room, when a researcher accidentally left the lid open while they went to the bathroom. When the researcher returned, all they needed to do to rescue their coffee from the clutches of a crazed Play-Doh general was brush a few soldiers off the counter. This is a day SCP-705 still talks about often, with deep fear and reverence.
Let's do this, guys.
On a gray morning, its wood damp from the mist that clung to the streets.
Don't open it.
Do it! The old shopkeeper dragged it inside,
Don't do it.
curses under his breath. Business had been slow.
Send it back to
Cash
Walmart.
hanging by a thread. Maybe this was some promotional miracle, or a mistake.
A mistake.
It groaned as it opened, nails straining against the wood. Inside sat a vending machine, like nothing he'd ever seen.
Ooh.
Mechanical and polished to a gleam, it had a presence that felt wrong. The glass dome at the top revealed rows of perfectly round candies, their colors so vibrant they seemed to glow. He tilted the machine slightly, spotting words engraved on the underside.
All right, guys, so that thing shows up at your front doorstep. Comment down below what you're doing. Personally, I'll be honest, I would open it. Sometimes I get Amazon packages that are for like my neighbor, and then I just get so excited by a package showing up at my door because it's like Christmas morning all over again. So I end up opening it anyway. And if I already do that with my neighbor's packages, I would probably do it with this as well. And then if it was candy, well, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think I would probably eat the candy. As much as you're not supposed to eat random stranger candy, I think I would do it. But yeah, comment down below what you guys would do. Don't do it, though, if it actually happens.
Try something different today. Sweet and candy red.
Candy red? Is that red 40? Red 40 bad.
This stuff.
Causes autism.
Still, desperate times. He dusted off a corner near the front window and set the machine there. Its coin slot caught the light, winking at him like it knew something he didn't.
What?
The old man stared at it for a moment before fishing a coin from his pocket. One little test couldn't hurt. The coin clinked as it
Famous
slid.
last words.
He pulled the lever, and the machine whirred mechanically, spitting out a single candy into the tray below. It was perfect. Round, red, and faintly glistening.
What kind of
He
candy?
rolled it in his palm before popping it into his mouth.
Is it like a
Flavor
chocolate
hit him like a revelation.
or like a jelly bean?
Bloomed on his tongue, bright and irresistible.
Jawbreaker?
It was like every childhood memory condensed into one.
What is this candy? Bro has no idea, but he just took every drug combined into one. And there's also some silly juice in the center. So bro is high as a kite right now, and he has no idea.
Moment, he forgot the world, forgot the bills, forgot the empty streets outside.
What the heck?
Then it turned.
His hair grew back.
Soured, twisting into something sharp and metallic. His
Oh,
tongue burned, his throat tightening as if a fist had gripped it. His vision blurred.
Oh my God.
Tilting wildly around him. A pressure built in his chest, and his heart thudded like it was trying to escape. The whispers came next, soft at first, then getting louder. They skittered around his mind. His
yo,
hands trembled, and he clawed at his shirt as though it might stop the suffocating
yo,
weight
what is
pressing
going
down.
on?
Then came the blood.
The what?
First, he dismissed
What?
the wetness under his arms, thinking it was sweat from the panic.
Oh my God,
When
what?
he pulled his trembling hand away
He's
from his
bleeding
shirt,
from his
it was
pits.
slick and red.
He's bleeding from his
It
armpits.
felt like it.
Oh my God,
Down.
bro.
Crimson stains seeped through his sleeves, pooling in the folds of his armpits.
Ugh.
Sticky wetness spread to his toes, soaking his socks and dripping onto the wooden floor.
Oh my God.
He whispered.
Oh
his
my,
voice
but
shaking.
Jesus, sweet baby Jesus.
The old man stumbled toward the mirror behind the counter, catching his
Oh, okay.
bloodshot eyes stared back at him.
Call a
veins
doctor.
bulging And red tears streaming down his face.
Maybe eat another
A
candy?
trail of red trickled from his nose, dripping onto the counter. The sight twisted his stomach, and he nearly collapsed as the whispers in his head grew
The
louder.
whispers?
His breath
What are
came
the
in short,
whispers?
Sharp gasps. He tried to wipe the blood away.
Oh man.
Leaving
Ah!
crimson streaks on his pale skin.
This is my worst nightmare.
Legs gave
SCP,
out
come
and
true.
fell behind the counter, the whispers rising to a deafening roar in his ears. He stumbled backward, crashing into the shelves behind the counter. Glass jars rattled and fell, the sound barely registering. His knees buckled, and he collapsed onto the
Oh
floor,
my
gasping
God.
for air as the whispers rose to a crescendo. Cold sweat dripped down his back, pooling around him as his body shook uncontrollably. The machine stood silent, its
Well,
polished
yeah.
surface reflecting the shopkeeper's pale, horrified face. Hours passed before the shopkeeper
Okay, guys, so we just learned a little bit about the SCP. Now, it is living up to the name of blood candy because as soon as you eat it, it basically makes your entire body start bleeding from every single spot, from your pits, from your butt, from your eyeballs. There's no stopping it, it seems. But the weird part is that it was sweet at first, and he had all of these amazing memories, and it was basically like he just did like the best drug on planet Earth and was feeling all sorts of dopamine, and he was having good memories, and it like he grew his hair back and stuff. But then as soon as he reached the center, it got really sour and also started the infection of the blood candy. So I kind of wonder, right? Let's say I knew this thing was the blood candy. What if I just did like a little, I just gave it a little lick, and then I felt good, you know, I felt like I was on cloud 9, and then I stopped. Like or better yet, guys, what if you bite into this candy? Because I do this weird thing, especially with like lollipops and sometimes jawbreakers. I will, you know, lick it for a little bit, and then I'll crunch it to get to the center. Does anybody else do that? Because I've been told that I'm a psychopath for doing that. But what if you did that with this candy? Would that also, that would probably actually just kill me. Yeah, I think I'm dead if I do that.
stirred. He sat up slowly. His
Oh,
breath
he
shallow and
lived?
Uneven.
What?
Every inch of him screamed with exhaustion.
Oh my God.
Heart racing as though it
I
might
thought bro
burst.
was already dead.
His throat was raw, and every breath felt like swallowing shards of glass.
Ouch.
The blood had dried, crusting over his skin and clothes. The whispers had faded, but they still echoed faintly in the corners of his mind. He staggered to his feet, gripping the counter for support. His eyes darted to the candy machine in the corner, its polished surface gleaming in the dim light.
Burn it with a flamethrower.
Innocent and inviting.
No.
Inviting him.
Don't do it again,
A
dude.
sudden surge of anger jolted him into action. He grabbed a large garbage bag from behind the counter, the crinkle of the plastic loud in the stillness of the shop. With trembling hands, he approached the machine. His fingers hesitated on the glass dome containing
I wouldn't
the
even
candies.
touch that
The
thing.
whispers that had haunted him surged in his mind, spurring him forward. He yanked the dome off with a sharp pull. The
What are you
glass cooled
gonna
and
do?
unnervingly smooth under his fingers. It felt heavier than he'd expected. Or maybe that was just the weight of the fear gnawing at him. One by one, the gumballs tumbled into the bag, their faintly shimmering surfaces catching the light as they fell in an almost hypnotic cascade.
Get rid of that silly
the bag
candy.
with a savage twist, tying it shut with a knot that his shaking hands barely managed. He marched to the alley behind the shop, each step driven by a mixture of determination and dread. The garbage bin stood there, rusting and leaning slightly to one side.
Why do I feel like something bad's gonna happen?
He threw the bag inside with more force than necessary, the gumballs rattling against the metal like sinister marbles.
Guys, I have a feeling that, like other SCPs, when you try to get rid of them, because they are these, like, mythical, sentient beings, it might just come back, and or maybe the gumball machine fills up again with another whole thing of candy, and it just keeps filling up and up and up, and there's no way to actually get rid of it.
Slamming the lid shut,
Let's see.
For a moment, his breath coming in uneven gasps. The whispers in his mind seemed fainter now, but they weren't gone. Back inside the shop, his gaze drifted back to the machine.
Go to a doctor!
Sat on the counter.
What are you doing?
And for a moment, the temptation to destroy the machine entirely burned.
You are bleeding out of your pits! Go to a doctor!
Its weight familiar and reassuring in his grip.
Smash.
He stopped. His knuckles turned white as he stared at the machine.
Did it fill back up?
Daring him to make the first move.
What?
Destroying it made things worse. What if the whispers came back stronger?
It could.
The shopkeeper set the wrench down, his hands shaking. Not yet, he whispered to himself, backing away. The machine remained, gleaming silently, patient as ever.
Just throw the wrench.
His arms, smearing dried blood into his sleeves. He could still feel the whispers slithering through his thoughts.
Oh, I do not like this thing.
Him. That night,
this is basically how I feel about Chipotle burritos, right? I am very addicted to Chipotle burritos. So any single time that I go to a Chipotle, I start hearing whispers to add guacamole and get extra cheese and get double meat. So I totally get what this guy's going through because I go through the same thing every day.
Bolted the shop door and hid in the back room, far from the machine's gleaming temptation. But the next morning, when he mustered the courage to unlock the shop and face the world, his heart sank. The machine was full.
I called it!
Replenished as though
oh, I'm so smart.
The polished surface seemed brighter. Its engraving. Try something different today. Sweet and candy red. Catching the light with unnerving cheer.
I swear to God, if he eats another one, I'm gonna flip.
Faint whispers as he fled to the back room. The shopkeeper's mind unraveled day by day. He barely left the back room, haunted by panic attacks and phantom voices.
What the heck?
Found him pacing, muttering under his breath, or staring blankly at the wall. You're scaring the customers, she snapped, shoving an order book into his hands. Stay here if you're going to be useless. She dismissed his warning.
Bro, why is the wife such an L? Why is she not, like, taking him to a doctor? Or, like, I don't know, hiring some sort of psychiatrist to come and see what's going on? Like, this is supposed to be your husband, not, like, you know, just the dude that's homeless that you're just watching after. This guy clearly is psychotic and needs help.
Nonsense. Overwork, she told herself. A man his age running a shop without help was bound to take a toll.
No, it's the candy. Can he not talk about it?
Drawn to its sleek design and the novelty of its candy.
Oh my God. He didn't tell anybody.
And she had no intention of getting rid of it. One sunny afternoon,
are you serious?
A young boy walked into the shop with his mother.
Wait, I'm so confused because if she's selling the candy and the guy that first ate it, the shop owner, ate the candy, I guess he can't talk about it. Just like he wasn't able to destroy it, the whispers are telling him that he can't destroy it, and maybe the whispers are telling him that he can't tell anybody what happened so that the SCP can keep selling more gumballs and then keep spreading to as many people as possible. Now, the only thing that I'm curious about is that he took one, like, suck of the ball, and then he immediately started, like, feeling all of these different feelings, and then started bleeding out of his armpits. He was bleeding from his pits. So why is that not happening to anybody else?
Barely noticed the jars of licorice or the rows of sugar sticks. His attention locked onto the vending machine. His small hands clenched his mother's skirt, his voice rising in excitement. I want that one, he said,
No, you don't.
pointing at the machine.
Idiot.
His mother frowned.
Dummy.
I have plenty of candy at home.
Yeah, good.
But I don't have that
W
one.
mom.
The boy
Oh my god,
began
L kid.
tugging harder. His voice grew louder with every protest, drawing glances from other customers. The mother sighed, digging into her purse for a coin.
No.
Fine, she said,
No.
her tone weary. She dropped the
You
coin into his
fool.
eager palm.
You
But you're
numbskull.
not eating it until after dinner. Understand?
Oh my gosh,
The boy
no.
nodded, already bounding toward the machine.
He's gonna
The
sneak
coin
it.
clinked
I
into
already
the
know.
slot, and he pulled the lever with all
I would
his
do the
might.
same.
A single candy dropped into the dispenser. He plucked
He's
it out,
dead.
holding it up like a prize.
Death by candy bottle.
Shimmered faintly, its surface glossy and vibrant, almost too perfect.
Why do I want to try the
Choked,
candy?
clutching it tightly as they left the shop. The shopkeeper's wife watched them go, shaking her head. Kids and their sweets, she muttered, turning back to the counter. She didn't notice the faint hum that lingered in the air, nor the way the machine's lever reset itself, ready
Oh my
for
God.
the next customer.
Oh,
That evening, the boy bolted
Oh,
to his dinner, his blood
no.
powdering against the plate as he devoured the meal with all the grace of a starved animal. Can I have it now? He asked, his mouth still half full.
bro needs his candy.
Exchanging a glance
He's
with
so
his father
hype.
before nodding. Go ahead, she said, but brush your teeth after.
Oh
The boy
my
didn't wait for
gosh.
further permission. He sprinted to his room, slamming the door behind him. Perched on his bed, he pulled the candy from his pocket. The wrapper crinkled as he took it off, the sound sharp and electric in the quiet room. He held the candy up, turning it in his fingers, marveling at the faint shimmer. With a triumphant grin, he popped it into his mouth.
Don't do it. You're gonna get
Sweetness
diabetes
like a tidal
and bloody
wave, A
armpits.
syrupy explosion of flavor that made his eyes water.
Bro's hooked.
Savoring it. But then, it changed.
No.
The sweetness soured, turning sharp and metallic.
Oh man.
Bitterness clawed.
So I was kind of hoping that the SCP only affected adults because there are some SCPs, kind of similar to like Dr. Wondertainment's SCPs, that only really affect adults, but this one seems like it doesn't care whether you're 4 years old or a 97-year-old grandma. You're cooked as soon as you eat it.
At the back of his throat, and his stomach churned. Suddenly, a jolt of pain shot through
Oh
him like an electric shock.
no!
His fingers twitched uncontrollably,
Oh,
dropping the candy wrapper onto
man.
the floor. Then, the
Oh
whispers
my
began.
goodness, not the
They were
whispers!
faint at first, a low murmur brushing the edges.
That's
of his
so creepy
consciousness,
with all of the
but
stuffed animals.
insistent, a cacophony of voices speaking in a language.
Oh,
he couldn't
not the
understand.
cacophony of
His
voices!
hands shot to his ears, trying to block out the noise, but it was inside his head, crawling under his skin. Stop!
Oh, this poor
His voice
child.
high and cracked. Make it stop! The shadows in his room seemed to move.
Go
His
to your
drawer
mom.
drawers, neatly lined up on the shelf, rattled as if an unseen hand had brushed against them.
So I'm guessing that because this happens, the parents are probably going to contact a doctor, unlike the L wife from earlier. So that's probably where the SCP Foundation is going to first discover that this thing actually exists.
His favorite stuffed bear toppled from the bed, its button eyes glinting eerily in the dim light.
Okay,
He
okay.
scrambled backward, his breath coming in ragged gasps, but there was nowhere to go.
That is terrifying.
Pooled under his arms, seeping through his shirt and
Oh,
leaving dark stains
no.
on his pajama sleeves.
That's so
His socks grew
traumatizing.
red and damp, sticky with a crimson sheen that spread to the carpet.
Oh,
Sharp sting burned at the
I don't
corner of
like
his
this
eyes.
anymore.
He wiped at them, but his hands
This is
always
nightmare
smeared
fuel.
with red. Mom! He shrieked, but the words were barely coherent. He doubled over, his stomach twisting.
Oh,
Blood dripped from his nose,
that is
splattering onto the candy wrapper at his
so
belly.
bad.
His skin glistened with sweat,
Ah.
streaked with faint trails of crimson. The door burst open, and his parents rushed.
Okay,
in.
okay, somebody
His mother
help.
froze in the doorway, her hands flying to her mouth. Oh my God! She gasped.
Yeah.
His father darted forward, grabbing the boy's trembling shoulders.
Bro, somebody
What's
get a
happening to him?
doctor.
He yelled, his voice rising with panic. The boy clawed at his father's arms, his wide eyes darting
Oh my God.
around the room, as though he were seeing something.
Ah!
they couldn't. It's here! He choked out, his voice
What
raw.
is?
It's here! The candy
This is like
wrapper lay
Stranger
discarded
Things
on the floor,
with the mind
a faint,
flayer.
Sweet smell lingering in the air. The mother picked it up with trembling fingers, staring at it as if it held the answer. But the glossy paper offered no clues, only the lingering promise of something sweet and candy red. The boy's cries echoed through the neighborhood that night.
Oh
His
my
parents'
goodness.
shouts barely masking the
It
chaos.
literally is like he's in the upside
Everyone
down.
had heard the story. or some version of it. Whispers swirled in the corners of the diner and at the general store. Did you hear about that boy?
Oh, wow.
Leaning in as if the details might vanish if spoken too loudly. Blood everywhere, they say. And the candy from that machine, another neighbor would add, hushed but eager. The candy shop itself seemed to hold its breath. Fewer parents dared to enter, casting wary glances at the vending machine through the window. But their children, wide-eyed and curious, couldn't resist pressing their noses to the glass.
Give me the Satan candy now!
This time, it was a shy girl with pigtails, her cheeks flushed as she clutched a few coins in her tiny hand.
That's Wednesday
She
Addams.
saved every penny of her allowance, eyeing the forbidden candy with
Why?
growing curiosity each
What
time
is?
she passed the shop.
Are you stupid or are you an idiot?
Her
What?
mother
What?
lingered in the bookstore
Seriously?
next door, engrossed in a discussion about the latest novel. The girl seized the moment.
Are you actually kidding me right now? That, like, a child. Everybody knows that he ate the forbidden candy, and then now no police, no doctor said anything about, like, hey, like, we should probably remove this candy from the candy shop. But, like, maybe the candy didn't do anything, because it is kind of crazy to think that candy could do that. However, if there's a small chance that there's poisonous drug candy inside of a candy shop, you would think somebody would go in and remove it. Simple as that. Hey guys, it's me again. You just saw me 2 seconds ago, but if you guys have been watching the video for this long, you guys are now officially members of the Cookie Club. As a member of the Cookie Club, you guys seriously need to get your very own cookie plushie. Like, there's no way you guys have watched this video for over an hour and haven't scanned this QR code right here, or checked out BeckBroJack.co. If you already did it, great. If not, definitely go check it out, and make sure you guys use code Bessie for 10% off. All right, Cookie Club, let's get back to the video.
Slipping into the shop as quietly as a shadow. The shopkeeper's wife sat at the counter, poring over a stack of receipts. She barely looked up as the girl approached the vending machine. The girl hesitated, her heart pounding as she slid the coin
Whatever,
into the
just
slot.
do it.
The lever felt cold in her
Your
small
fate
hand.
is sealed.
She pulled it, her breath catching as the candy tumbled into the dispenser. She picked it up, gazing at its shimmering surface.
Death by idiot.
She thought she heard a faint hum, but she brushed it off and darted out of the shop, her prize clutched tightly. That night, her parents found her curled under her bed, her hands and feet
Of
crusted
course.
with dried blood, the metallic smell
She
filling the
messed
room.
around and she found
At
out.
first, they thought she'd hurt herself, but a frantic inspection revealed no injuries, just a grotesque
Just
patterns
blood
of
coming
her own
from the
sweat
pits.
pooling and drying in thick crimson streaks. Sweetheart, her mother whispered, kneeling to meet her daughter's hollow stare. What happened? The girl didn't answer. Her lips moved.
I
The
do not
words
like
were
blood either,
nonsense.
guys. This is so
Broken
bad.
phrases and murmurs that
I
made no
hate this
sense.
video.
Tears streamed from her bloodshot eyes, staining her cheeks red. Her parents exchanged terrified glances, their child trembling and unresponsive in their arms.
Ugh.
The town's unease deepened when the next incident followed just days later.
What?
A boy, known for his boldness and love of adventure,
How many
used his
people
pocket
are
money
gonna
to buy
eat the
candy.
forbidden
He was
devil
last seen
candy?
stuffing it into his mouth as he walked toward the woods,
What?
a wide grin on his face.
Seriously?
Hours passed before his family found him, barefoot and wandering aimlessly through the trees. His clothes were torn,
What?
his skin streaked with dirt and blood. His
Why was it
face
torn?
pale, his expression blank.
Huh.
Son, what happened to you?
I ate the candy, Dad. I ate it.
His voice shaking. The boy blinked, his eyes unfocused. His lips quivered as he whispered, I don't know. His father's grip tightened. What do you mean you don't know? Where have you been? The boy looked down at his hands, coated in blood. He held them up, trembling. Who am I? He asked softly.
What?
His parents stepped back in horror. The boy didn't seem to recognize them.
Is that why nobody knows that it was the candy? Because maybe nobody remembers themselves or anything about themselves after they eat the candy, which would make a lot more sense. But the mom of the first kid did find the wrapper, so I feel like that might have been a good clue to know that, I don't know, the candy did something weird.
Or himself. There were no injuries, no explanation for the blood, only silence, broken by the boy's ragged breathing and his mother's sobs. The shop became a cursed place. Parents yanked their children away from the windows.
Get
warning
away,
growing
Timmy!
sharper. Stay away from there. Do you hear me? A chorus of Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
finally.
Yes, sir. Followed.
People
But the
are
children's
listening.
eyes still darted toward the machine. Their
Oh my
curiosity
god,
gnawing
bro.
at them.
All these kids are
The
fat.
shopkeeper's wife was no fool. She noticed the dwindling foot traffic and the fearful glances. It's just a machine, she muttered.
Where is your husband?
Sweeping the floor.
Is he good?
That's when the shopkeeper's wife remembered something strange. No matter how many candies the machine dispensed, by morning, its glass dome was full again.
You
At first,
just noticed
she chalked
that?
it up to a trick of the mind. Perhaps she hadn't been paying attention. But that same night, after locking up, she emptied the dome herself, pouring every last gumball into a tin bucket.
Okay,
She carried the
finally.
bucket to the back room, stuffing it into a cupboard and locking the door for good measure. The next morning, the dome was full again. She froze, staring at the machine as a chill crept up her spine.
All right, now go talk to your
polished
husband and ask
surface
if he
seemed to
did it.
shimmer under the dim shop lights, the coin slot almost beckoning at her. Her hand reached out, trembling slightly, but she pulled back at the last second. Just my imagination.
No,
she whispered,
what? No,
trying to
no,
steady
no.
her breath.
Listen to yourself.
But deep
No.
down, she knew better. That night, she left the shop lights on. Meanwhile, the rumors reached further than the town, carried by concerned whispers and unsettling reports. Parents spoke of children drenched in blood that wasn't theirs, of panic attacks and hallucinations. The stories of missing children and bizarre deaths eventually caught the attention of the SCP Foundation.
Finally.
One crisp
Okay, we
morning,
got the
2 men in
professionals
dark
here,
suits
guys.
Entered the shop. Their voices were calm, their questions pointed.
Ooh,
They
Scarface.
introduced themselves as government officials conducting a safety inspection.
We've heard reports of strange occurrences linked to this machine.
One said, his eyes fixed on the vending contraption. The shopkeeper's wife hesitated. It's just a candy machine, she said weakly. Her voice faltered. The whispers had kept her awake for nights, and the memory of the refilled dome haunted her. The men exchanged a glance.
We'd like to take it for further examination,
The other said.
for public safety.
Relief and dread warred within her. Take it, she said quickly, almost too eagerly. The Foundation agents moved with precision. A containment team arrived within the hour, disassembling the machine piece by piece. Despite its mechanical simplicity, the process was far from ordinary. The polished exterior resisted their tools, the lever locked stubbornly in place until they used specialized equipment to disable it.
Huh.
As the machine was packed into
did
a
it.
reinforced crate, one agent held up the base, revealing the inscription. Try something different today, sweet and candy red. The phrase dripped with irony, given the chaos it had caused. The shopkeeper and his wife were escorted into a back room. Their memories of the machine, the candy, and the horrors it had unleashed were erased with a simple injection.
Okay, good. Boom, they got Men in Black mind wiped.
The next morning with
That's
only a
for the
faint
best.
sense of something missing. The machine was transported to a secure Foundation site, its mysteries far from solved. Researchers marveled at its infinite supply of candy, its indestructible mechanisms, and the faint hum it emitted in the quiet of the observation chamber. Where did it come from? One researcher mused aloud, staring at the refilled dome.
Probably
No one answered.
Walmart.
The machine sat silent, its polished surface reflecting the sterile lights of the containment room. For now, it was contained. But as the whispers began to creep through the facility's halls, one thing became clear. This anomaly, now formally designated SCP-942, was far from finished. The
What?
machine, now officially labeled
Wait a second.
SCP-942-2, was wheeled into a reinforced chamber under the watchful eyes of armed guards and nervous researchers. It sat in the center of the brightly lit room, gleaming under the fluorescent lights.
Is it going
Weeks
to
it remained
evolve?
still, silent, and yet undeniably ominous. Researchers set up constant surveillance. Cameras captured every angle of the machine, but it offered no answers.
This is
The
so
dome
weird.
refilled itself each night with the same crimson-tinted candies. There was no observable mechanism, no hidden compartment. The candies simply appeared.
Okay, so
One
there's like a
researcher
black
stared at
hole
the
pocket
monitor, their
dimension.
voice tinged with unease. It's like it's taunting us. Another shrugged,
Eat
trying to mask their
me.
own nerves. Or just showing off. The candies, now designated SCP-942-1, were subjected to rigorous analysis. Their composition
what are
seemed
they?
ordinary at first. Sugar, artificial flavoring, food
Okay.
dye.
Yeah,
But their
delicious.
effects on living subjects told a much darker story.
So what is the secret
5
ingredient?
personnel were brought in for testing. Each was handed a single candy, instructed
Oh,
to consume
no.
it, and monitored closely.
These D-class
Subject
personnel.
to their mouth,
No,
chewing
just
slowly.
lick it.
At first, their expression brightened. Tastes amazing, they murmured, a faint smile tugging at their lips. But within moments,
no.
their hands
Another one
trembled,
bites the dust.
breathing quickened. They clutched their head, muttering incoherently. Then the screaming began.
But the thing is, they don't
The
die.
researcher barked,
It just
but
messes up their
the
brain.
subject collapsed, convulsing violently before falling into unconsciousness. The pattern was clear. SCP-942-1 wasn't just candy. It was a weapon, disguised as a treat. Despite strict protocols, curiosity proved to be a dangerous weakness. During a routine experiment, one researcher, fatigued and frustrated,
No.
decided to taste SCP-942-1
Are you
themselves.
actually dumb? Guys, okay, you literally work at the SCP Foundation. You are a doctor. You probably have PhDs. You've been in school forever. What are you doing? You literally know what this thing does, and you're willingly going to go and take it? Go somewhere else. Go anywhere else. Get a Feastables. I don't care what you do. Why would you ever, in a bajillion years, eat an SCP? That is top-tier dumb behavior.
Whether it was a lapse in judgment or an act of defiance, the result was the same.
No, you're just an
The moment
idiot.
they bit into the candy, their eyes widened.
Oh
At
my
first,
god. I
they
get it
seemed
though.
fine.
I might try it too,
Then
actually.
they weren't. Their breathing turned erratic. They clawed at their arms, leaving deep red streaks. As they screamed about shadows moving. in the corners
Oh
of the room.
my god.
They stumbled into equipment, their voice rising.
Oh
in
no
despair.
no.
Watching. They're
Make it
everywhere.
stop.
They shrieked before collapsing
Oh,
onto the floor,
God.
twitching and muttering incoherently.
I don't like this
The
anymore.
incident left the observation team shaken. That's why we have protocols, the lead researcher said coldly, though their voice betrayed a hint of fear. The researcher was sedated and taken for observation. Their prognosis was grim. Weeks turned into months, but the Foundation's brightest minds were no closer to understanding SCP-942-2.
They have no
Machine's
idea.
ability to replenish candy remained a mystery. It defied every attempt to probe its inner workings. X-rays showed nothing unusual. Attempts to dismantle it were met with failure, as tools shattered against its metal frame. SCP-942-2 remains contained in its reinforced chamber, monitored day and night. The candies are carefully cataloged, each piece treated as a potential threat. Researchers continue their experiments, but the anomaly remains an enigma. For now, SCP-942-2 sits silently, its polished surface reflecting the sterile glow of the lab. The candies inside gleam invitingly, their crimson hues promising sweetness and something far more sinister.
Those SCPs might sound like they're just stories, but they're actually real and equally terrifying. And we're not done yet, because we're checking out even scarier SCPs that are going to keep you guys up at night. This next one is called the Man-Eating Bus. I don't think I'm ever riding a bus again after this.
A young woman on her way home is walking down a city street. And just like most nights, the downtown empties out after the working day ends, leaving the streets empty of both cars and pedestrians.
Ooh,
She
spooky.
hates when she has to close the shop and walk to her bus stop alone. And she is excited that in just another week, she will be starting a new job that's just around the corner from where she lives. She just has to get through these last few nights of being the last one at the store and having to walk home alone.
Okay, so she has headphones on, so she really can't, like, hear anything that's happening around her. She's all by herself. This is a disaster right now. Like, you are pretty much not necessarily, like, asking for something weird to happen, but, I mean, you're not really super aware of your surroundings. There's nobody else to really look out for you, so something bad could definitely happen, and then you would have no idea, and nobody else would have any idea what happened to you. So, yeah, just make sure that you're, like, aware of your surroundings at all times, especially when you're alone walking in the middle of the city.
Her more immediate concern now, though, is that her music has stopped. The young woman takes her phone out to check it.
Oh no, the
Dead.
phone died.
She must have forgotten to plug in the charger.
What kind of phone is
She
that?
hates when she does that.
She's got that
Now
Nokia
she'd have
brick.
to spend the bus ride staring out the window at nothing. What was that? The woman looks up from her phone. Did she see someone? She turns around and sees something on the other side of the street. It's dark.
That's a
And all she can
person?
make out is a big, shadowy figure.
Okay, if I
She
saw
doesn't
that,
stare
I
for
am
long,
booking
though.
it home,
Starts
boys.
to walk again, picking up her pace slightly. She can hear the sound of footsteps and glances over her shoulder.
Okay,
The
I'm
person
getting
across the
freaked
street
out
is
for
moving
her.
too, and they seem to be matching her pace.
keep running.
avoiding
Just
any
run.
streetlights to
Just
remain in
run.
darkness. She
How?
starts to move a
You
little
can
quicker,
barely even see the person.
and so do they.
What?
The young woman grips the pepper spray in her
Oh,
pocket.
good. Okay, she's
She doesn't
prepared
know
for
what this
anything.
person is doing or what they want, but she's going to be ready for
Pepper
it.
spray him.
She keeps walking.
Shoot him in the
and
eye
glances over her
socket.
shoulder again. They're crossing the street towards her now. She ducks into an alley, and as soon as she's around the corner and out of sight, she starts to
getting
run.
the EBGBs, boys. I don't like this. Yeah, run. Get the flip out of there.
Behind her, frightened of what she might see, but no one is there. Maybe she was wrong, and they weren't following her.
Oh,
she's not about to stop
I don't
running
know.
and
Trust your
find out.
gut, girly.
She emerges from the alley, still running as hard as she can. She reaches her bus stop and finally stops to catch her breath. She checks her watch. The bus should be pulling up right now, but it's nowhere to be seen. She looks around, and what she does see is the shadowy figure coming out of the alley.
Oh no, dude, I'm getting goosebumps.
She backs up into the bus stop and takes the pepper spray out of her pocket, her finger ready on the trigger.
Shoot!
The shadowy figure
Shoot
keeps
the
moving
man!
towards her.
Shoot him!
The dark street is lit up.
Whoa.
The woman looks behind her to see her savior.
Oh, it's the bus!
It's the bus.
Yes!
She turns back to see the shadowy figure retreating to the alley.
Okay, good.
As if the light is pushing it away.
She's
the
safe.
woman breathes a sigh of relief and finally lets some of the tension in her body release as the bus
me
comes
too.
to a stop in front of her.
I was getting real worried for this
The door
random
swings open,
woman.
and the woman steps inside. I've never been so happy to get on the bus, she says to the driver as she scans her transit card. The driver doesn't respond, though. In fact, he doesn't react to her at all. He just keeps staring straight ahead. The woman doesn't push it, though. She's just happy to be on the bus, even if it is completely empty. She heads to the back of the bus and takes a seat. As the bus...
Okay, guys, I don't want to, like, make any predictions too early, but I have a weird feeling that the person that was following her was a part of the SCP. Like, sometimes SCPs, they can have, like, multiple parts to them, and I think this SCP might be one of them, where obviously we know that the bus is not a normal bus. It is a man-eating bus, or in this case, a woman-eating bus. But I think that dark, shadowy figure probably was something that's a part of the SCP that pushes people to get to the bus spot or to get to the bus stop and then get on the bus without even thinking twice about, like, is this the right bus? Is this weird at all? So I would assume that they're probably working together, if I had to guess.
The bus pulls away. She can almost swear she could see the shadowy figure standing in the alley, watching her. The
Maybe the shadow's a good guy. I don't really know.
The woman looks out the window and takes deep breaths, trying to calm herself after her harrowing ordeal. After a while, she notices that the bus doesn't seem to be stopping as much as it normally does, or at all for that matter. Did they change the route? Or did she get on the wrong bus?
Yes.
They are approaching her stop, though, so it
hit the emergency brake.
She reaches up to pull the cord. A bell chimes, and the stop requested light illuminates in the front of the bus. But the driver doesn't show any sign of stopping or even slowing down.
That's
She pulls
creepy.
the cord again, but
Especially
still
if you're
no
like the
reaction.
only one on the bus.
As she sees her building go by, she calls out, "Hey, this is my stop." But the driver doesn't acknowledge her at all. She stands up and walks to the front. "Didn't you hear me? This is my stop." Still no reaction from the driver. "Hey, I said..." She reaches out and grabs his shoulder, spinning him towards her.
Oh my
Finds herself
God.
staring into the eyes of a fresh corpse.
What?
The woman screams and jumps back as the driver slumps forward towards her. She's terrified by the dead body, as well as the fact that the bus will crash. But when she looks at the steering wheel, she sees that it is continuing to move on its own.
Okay, that is some
The woman is in a
paranormal
full-blown
activity
panic
stuff
now.
going on
She
right now.
screams and pounds on the door, but it won't open. The engine roars
Oh my
as the
gosh,
bus
it's
starts
speeding
to
up.
pick up speed. She doesn't know what to
What-
do.
well, yeah,
Runs
what
to the
can you
back where
do?
She tries the rear door, but it doesn't budge
Oh,
either.
she is
The
trapped.
bus speeds up even more, whipping around corners and tossing her from side to side. She's thrown to the ground and hits her head. Her eyelids feel like they weigh 100 pounds, and she struggles to keep them open. She manages to stay awake, though, and as she looks up in a daze, staring at the ceiling of the bus, she can see a green gas emanating from the vents. It's the last thing she sees before her eyes close for good.
Oh my
The bus finally
gosh.
comes to a stop in a deserted area of the city. The vehicle raises slightly as one
What?
after another, each wheel
What?
appears to unfold,
What?
revealing them to be long, black, spindly
the
legs. The bus stands up on the insectoid appendages as its roof splits into two
No.
massive wings. The bus then leaps up into the sky, spreading its wings, and flies off.
Okay, I don't think this could ever happen, but you gotta think, I don't know, natural selection and evolution could maybe one day make something like this. And I just don't want to live in that world where that's a possibility. That is insane. It is a ginormous bug that can fly, except it looks like a bus. What the flip? That is some seriously good camo.
To the night. How could this young woman have known that after escaping danger, that her rescuer would be something worse, much worse? Unfortunately for her, She had just willingly stepped onto an instance of SCP-2086, a deadly and terrifying anomaly that hides in plain sight as it stalks and hunts its human prey.
Oh, that is so creepy.
SCP-2086 is the designation the SCP Foundation has given to a species that appears to belong to the arthropod phylum, a group that also includes arachnids and crustaceans. These strange creatures differ from most of their lobster and spider brethren, in that they make use of an advanced form of camouflage to move among modern society unseen. Adult SCP-2086 instances all resemble some sort of public transportation vehicle, with the exact make, model, year, and branding varying from instance to instance. SCP-2086.
This kind of reminds me of like some of Trevor Henderson's creatures, where like they are seemingly normal objects, like the train worm one, I'm pretty sure is one of them, but it seems like it's a normal train, but then out of nowhere it turns into something that is an absolute monster. So whoever made up this SCP, super creative idea. I'm hoping that something like this is not real, and I'm pretty sure that it's not, but you can never be too certain. But yeah, I just think that this is such a creative, cool idea that literally, obviously could never happen, right? But I mean, it is a really neat idea, and I do appreciate the thought of like a bus could be camouflaged as a giant creature, especially because in nature, like all of the time, you see bugs specifically have really, really advanced forms of camouflage. And even like some bugs, like a stick bug, for instance, if it stays perfectly still, you would never know that it's a living insect. But then it starts to move around and then you can see its head. So honestly, like something like this, maybe eventually thousands of years in the future could happen. But for right now, I think we're safe.
Instances move about the streets of our cities foraging for food. And at first glance, they are virtually indistinguishable from the standard transit vehicles they are mimicking. Close examination of them, though, will reveal that the steel, wood, plastic, and glass they are composed of aren't those materials at all, but a form of specialized chitin, which is the substance that makes up the hard exoskeleton
and your fingernails,
of many
I'm pretty
insects
sure,
and other arthropods. And that's not the only aspect of SCP-2086 that isn't actually what it appears to be. The wheels on the bus may go round and round, but they also are capable of unraveling into long, thin legs.
I don't like that sound.
A very imposing image
so
when
creepy.
SCP-2086 is standing up at its full height. The roof, too, is able to unfurl into a set of giant insectoid wings, and after leaping into the air with its powerful legs, the wings will spread, and the bus can take flight, which appears to be its preferred method of travel when it is not in its camouflaged hunting mode. Its headlights, too.
I'm just picturing like I'm out one night and I look up to the sky and I see a bus flying with giant spider legs. I would probably check myself into an insane asylum immediately.
Are an entirely biological mechanism consisting of two large bioluminescent optical organs similar to those possessed by SCP-015-IT and SCP-745.
That is creepy.
Dissections of SCP-2086 specimens have shown them to have an entire system of organs, including a heart, brain, and stomach, which are found beneath the flooring in the creature's interior chamber.
Stomach is the key word there. This thing has to eat in order to feed its stomach, and yeah, we know what it's eating.
SCP-2086 appendages are not just used for locomotion, though, and they have been observed as being able to use them for fine object manipulation. This fact was learned when they were observed building crude shelters from scrap materials at their nesting grounds. More on these nests and the terrifying events that take place there later. When SCP-2086 is not at its nest, it engages in its foraging behavior. Typically, an SCP-2086 instance will fly to the start of a route and begin driving along city streets, picking up human passengers who willingly enter the creature's inner chamber, thinking that it is a standard bus. Along with its exoskeleton closely resembling a real vehicle, SCP-2086 has one more particularly gruesome trick to fool would-be passengers into becoming its prey. A bus that drives itself would lead many to think twice about stepping on board, so SCP-2086 makes use of a decoy driver, which is actually a human corpse encased and preserved in a shellac-like substance.
Okay, that is probably the weirdest part of this entire thing. Like, it takes one victim and instead of consuming it, it literally puts it in the driver's seat. That is the smartest thing ever. I don't know how it does it, because technically, like, the inside of the bus is like the inside of the insect. So I don't know, like, how does it reach in or like put the human there? I don't really want to think about it too much because it kind of is going to creep me out, but it's weird to think that they're able to put one of the humans inside of them and then like you know, have it act like it's the driver of the bus. Weird
Smaller,
stuff.
fibrous appendages protrude from the front
Oh,
seat.
never
and into
mind.
the
That's how it
corpse,
does it.
which
Okay.
hold it in place. Or
Okay.
even capable of manipulating the corpse.
I didn't need to
giving
know
the
that.
appearance of movement as it drives
I
the
really
bus.
did not need to know that.
Once
That's okay.
SCP-2086 has gathered up what it considers to be enough victims, a number that appears to vary from instance to instance, it will release a noxious gas from its interior vents. The gas produces an effect in humans similar to chloroform, and everyone on board will be rendered unconscious.
It's almost like this SCP is, I don't know, like the human version of a Venus flytrap, where obviously a Venus flytrap is super intelligent in the way that it operates. It will attract a bug to go inside of it, and then it gets trapped in there, and then acid slowly dissolves it, and then it pretty much just like digests the bug. But this is basically the human version.
The creature, now filled with its prey, does not feed on the humans trapped inside it, though. Instead, it will take them to its nesting grounds, which is where the real horror begins.
Okay, it's gonna get
These
creepier?
nesting grounds
Really?
are most often localized in scrap and junkyards that have fallen into disuse or are completely abandoned. And it is in these nests that the juvenile instances of SCP-2086
There's
are
baby?
found. While
What? There's a
full-grown
baby
instance can
version.
weigh as much as 17,000 kilograms, which is the approximate curb weight of a normal bus. Extensive field research and observation into SCP-2086 has led to the identification of the smaller, juvenile instances, which are much smaller than their adult counterparts, weighing under 200 kilograms. But they don't stay this size for long. When an adult SCP-2086 arrives back at the nest with its interior chamber filled with human prey, it will open its doors and allow the juvenile members to enter inside of it so they can feed and grow.
No.
Once inside, a juvenile will remove a passenger from the bus and take them outside. The effects of the chloroform gas will often begin to wear off at this time, but by this point, it is already too late. The juvenile instance will then proceed to force the human into a hole located under their hood. This leads to a sort of digestive tract that connects to its inner chamber where the driver's seat is located.
This is getting a little
Small,
too detailed for my
hair-like
liking.
appendages will then emerge from the seat and protrude into the prey's body, which hold them in place in the driver's seat and trap them there, while at the same time acting as feeding tubes, draining the blood from the now doomed passenger. Once the person has been completely drained of blood...
Did they really just put like a sippy straw sound effect? That's like a Capri Sun. What?
Begin secreting
That's
a saline
crazy.
solution as the internal compartment fills with a shellac-like substance.
Ew.
And the effects
Ew.
of both combine to effectively embalm
Ew.
and preserve the corpse, which will serve as its own decoy driver once it enters adulthood. And this process happens quite quickly. A newborn SCP-2086 will reach adulthood in just 1 week, provided that it has had access to nutrients, at which point it will begin searching for new sources of prey for its own offspring, of which it will likely have plenty. 2086 instances become capable of reproduction at 8 days, and females are able to produce up to 20 offspring, but their lives
that's
are quite
20
short,
too many.
with their entire life cycle usually lasting just 12 to 15 days.
That's it?
Prior to feeding and beginning the process of becoming a full-size adult, juveniles will also leave the nest and will covertly move about the city, removing bus stop signposts and relocating them, often creating a route that leads back to its own nest. These are the routes that adult instances will then typically follow as they hunt for more prey to bring back to their colony. SCP-2086 instances have been found in metropolitan areas around the world, and news reports are closely monitored by the Foundation for missing persons that had recently used public transport, with Foundation field agents being dispatched to potential high-threat areas to investigate further. Any nests that are discovered have their locations condemned, if they weren't already, and demolished using chemical explosives.
Yes, explode the
Previously, an effort was
SCPs.
made to capture and contain live instances of SCP-2086.
I wonder how that went.
And currently, the Foundation has 5
Oh.
such specimens in its custody.
Oh,
which are
it's
stored
kinda
in a
cute how they're
converted
all
airplane
different.
hangar. Due to their short lifespans and high rate of reproduction, the amount of live specimens contained at any given time can vary widely, and will often depend on the number of available D-Class personnel who can serve as drivers. Terminated specimens are either destroyed or sent to a specialized cold storage container at a secure site for further biological research.
This is SCP-867. It's a tree, but it's not just any tree. This is the deadliest tree to ever exist. And today,
What was
we're gonna
that?
find out why.
The man and woman's hike through a gently rolling portion of the Rocky Mountains has just taken a turn for the dangerous. There's something there in the bush, the man tells her before stepping in front of her in a defensive
Oh
pose.
yeah, defend
They
your
watch the bush
woman.
intently, There's a slight rustling.
What is
of the
it?
leaves as if
Ew, dude,
something's
it looks like a
inside.
tree butthole.
The man picks up a stick from the ground and holds it in front of him, ready to strike whatever fearsome beast is lurking in the
Okay,
under.
let's be real. If that's like a grizzly bear, my guy is about to get ripped apart into like a billion different pieces, and she's looking at him like she knows it. If she's smart, she should probably start running immediately.
Brush. The rustling stops, but the man doesn't move from his protective stance.
He is sweating bullets
"Do you
right
think it's
now.
gone?" The woman asks.
I don't think
the man
so.
isn't sure. He leans in towards the bush, searching for signs of what might be hiding inside when
Oh!
the man screams
What
and falls
is it?
backwards as the creature emerges from the bush.
What?
The woman cries. It's a pika. She kneels down to get a closer look at the adorable little creature.
It was just
Pikas
a
are
little
native to this
rodent.
part of Colorado,
Oh my
and they resemble
gosh.
rabbits, but with small, rounded ears.
He looks
She
so
watches it
stupid
hop back
now.
off the trail before turning around to see
Wait.
her friend lying tangled in the branches of a tree.
Guys, check that out. Okay, that is no ordinary tree. That has to be SCP-867, which has the nickname the Blood Spruce. I have no idea what this thing does, but based on its name, it can't be anything good.
Tree. She can't help but laugh as she offers a hand to help pull him out of his predicament. Are you all right? She asks between fits of laughter. Yes, he's fine. The only thing hurt was his pride. He notices a small red spot
Oh,
on his
no.
arm and rubs it, but it doesn't seem to
Guys,
hurt at all.
I think he got
His attention is
infected.
diverted by the woman, though, who is marveling at the tree he was just stuck in. Free of the branches, he can appreciate now that the tree really is incredible. It looks like a huge
Whoa.
blue spruce, but the name is a complete misnomer.
Wow.
Because this tree is a vibrant red color. I've never seen anything like it, she says, and the man hasn't either. Neither knows what species it is, and strangely, there don't seem to be any others like it.
It's so much
Maybe this
bigger
is
than the
result
other
of an odd
trees.
genetic defect that turns blue spruces red.
Huh.
After admiring the tree for a moment, the pair decides that they've hiked far enough and that they should probably head back to the car. She jokes that he's likely exhausted from his run-in with a wild animal. He laughs, but clearly his ego
Oh,
has been
that's so
bruised.
funny. He's gonna die soon. He's definitely. See, guys, look, there's a
The
skull
man
and
stops
bones.
his car in
This
front of
guy's
the
going
woman's
to
house,
die.
and she thanks him for taking her on the hike. As she starts to get out, though, he stops her. He asks if she wants to go do something else, like dinner?
Wait, guys, okay, so I like to make predictions during these SCP videos, and I have a prediction. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but we know that that was definitely the Blood Spruce SCP, and we know that he fell into the tree, he has a little bump on his arm, so he's definitely 100% infected. Now, I'm curious, because we saw like bones and we saw stuff like a skull around the other blood spruce, I'm wondering if maybe that's how this thing multiplies. Maybe it infects people or animals, and then it like basically starts spawning a tree out of the infected area. That's what I think right now, based on the information that we have, but make sure you guys comment down below what you think, and don't cheat. I know some of you guys might fast forward and then comment down below what actually happens. Don't do that. Just make some guesses down below right now in the comments. Do it.
The woman thanks him for his offer, but she has to be up early the next day for work. Just a quick drink then? An hour? 30 minutes? The woman tries her best to let her friend down easy, explaining that she likes him as a friend and as only that. The man opens
Ooh,
his mouth to respond,
rejected.
but she stops him.
He doesn't have
He
that
valued
Ohio
their friendship
skibbity riz.
and wouldn't try to take advantage of it by using it as a backdoor to dating her. The man again looks like his pride has been shattered.
Wow.
He apologizes and admits that she is right.
Not only did this
It's
guy
just
get
that he has
scared
such
by
a
a
good time with her
squirrel,
that he
he
never
got
wants it to
infected
end.
by an
She gives
SCP,
him a sad
and he
smile as she
also
closes the
got
car door,
rejected by
and he
the love of
watches
his
her enter
life.
her house before he finally
This guy took
drives away.
3 major L's
It's
today.
2 weeks later when the man's phone rings.
Oh,
It's
2
his
weeks
friend.
later.
She explains that she's
Oh,
been thinking a lot
no.
about what he said in the car, and that she likes spending time with him too.
No!
Maybe there could be something
I
more to
mean,
their
that's great
relationship.
for him, but
The man can't believe
we
it.
both know
Is
that
really
this
happening?
guy is not
The woman
going
is
to make
serious.
it.
She'd like to take him up on that dinner offer, if he's still interested. Her treat. She
Oh,
wants to know what
gosh.
he's doing right. Ah!
Oh, there it is, boys.
Is he okay? What was that sound?
No.
Yes, I'm fine. It was nothing, the man tells her. It's just that now's not a good time. The woman doesn't understand. She thought he'd want to see her. She explains that she's leaving town for a work trip the next day and will be gone for a couple of weeks. She was hoping
What?
she could see him before she left, but the man cries
Oh,
out
dude,
again.
he is
He tells
infected
her
right
that he hasn't
now.
been feeling well all day.
No.
But that he'll be all right. Okay, well,
He's not
get well
going to
soon.
be okay,
I'll
guys.
call you when I get back. They exchange goodbyes.
Oh, wait, look
and
at
the
his
man hangs up
skin.
the phone.
He's green?
The man
Oh,
looks terrible.
oh my
His
gosh,
skin is
yeah.
pale, and his
Yes,
face
he
looks
does.
hollow and gaunt.
No.
He looks down at his arm.
Ew.
He sees that the veins themselves appear to be moving,
What?
pulsing, and vibrating.
Ah, that's
He screams
gross.
again in agony and falls
That
to
is
the floor,
disgusting.
clutching his arm. After writhing on the floor, he manages to summon the strength to reach for the phone. His hand searches on the table above him.
Ew, it looks like he's
Eventually,
wearing a
able to knock it onto
glove,
the
but
floor.
it's actually just
He
his
grabs
own
the phone
hand.
and starts to dial 911. Before he can press 1
do it,
again,
do it.
another wave
Ah,
of intense
no.
searing pain consumes him. Several weeks later, the woman
Oh,
is
she
standing outside the
came
man's
to his house.
Mail and newspapers are piled up on his front porch, as if no one has been in or out in some time.
So I guess this guy must not have like any family or friends. He's kind of a loner because nobody has checked up on him in multiple weeks, other than this girl.
She knocks on the door, but there's no response. Hello? She calls out, but still nothing.
He
She's
turned
very
into a
worried.
tree,
She's
lady.
tried calling him several times, but he never answered or returned her messages. She tries the doorknob, and to her surprise, the front door swings open.
Okay, that's kind of
She steps
sus.
inside, and the room is dark. She's also immediately hit by a strong aroma of
Death.
She searches on the wall. And
Maybe I
finds
was
the
right.
switch. She turns on the lights and can't believe what she sees standing in front of her.
Oh, I
There in
was
the middle of the
right.
Is a massive spruce tree.
What?
Its upper branches pressing against the
That
ceiling.
is insane.
She reaches out and touches the tree's
Ugh.
vivid red branches. They feel sticky and wet. She pulls her
Oh,
hand away
ew,
and
ew.
looks down to see that it's covered in a red substance. That's when she notices something else.
The dead body.
Stuck in the trunk
Oh
of the
my god. Oh, okay.
of her friend.
So guys, I was right. I mean, this is a horrible time to pause, but I was right. So this thing infects the person, and then it turns their body into like fertilizer for a tree to spawn. Now guys, I'm pretty sure there's a type of mushroom that does this as well. It's very weird, but I remember watching a video after I played the Last of Us game, which is about like this mushroom virus that can like take over different organisms. And there actually is a mushroom out there called cordyceps that does something similar to this. But luckily it can only take over like small insects like ants, but it can actually like take over their brain and then it starts spawning in the mushroom from their body. It is super weird, but it's like a real life SCP.
Unfortunately, this pair would never have the opportunity to see their feelings take root and grow, because unbeknownst to
Dr.
them,
Bob just
this
cooked with that
beautiful
one.
tree is actually a very deadly anomaly, known to the SCP Foundation as SCP-867, but which is perhaps better known by its very appropriate nickname.
The blood spruce.
SCP-867 is, or at least appears to be, quite similar to the species of tree Pisceae pungens.
I've never
better
seen that
known
tree
as the
before.
blue spruce.
That is such a cool
Of
looking
course,
tree.
There are a number of dramatic differences between 867 and its non-anomalous counterpart.
I mean, yeah, we can see, first off, the blood spruce is like double the size, and secondly, it's a different color.
Visually, and most obvious, is the coloration. While blue spruces, as the name implies, are typically a blue-green color, SCP-867 is a deep, vibrant red. There's another major visual difference too, with the blood spruce lacking any sort of seed cones that you would normally expect to
Oh,
find.
interesting.
No pine cones to protect and spread seeds. You'd be right to ask how SCP-867 goes about reproducing.
We already
The
know.
answer to that question is what makes this beautiful tree such a dangerous anomaly. The secret to how SCP-867 reproduces is found in its leaves. While they look like pine needles, SCP-867's leaves are, in fact, needles.
Oh,
Their structure is very
what?
similar to that of hypodermic needles, and each one contains a single long, thin seed, which sits above a small gas pocket at the base.
Are you
When a living
serious?
creature touches the leaves, the tree immediately
Oh!
reacts. It triggers the gas pocket in the base of
Wow.
the leaf to release, which injects the seed into the skin of whatever touched it. The process is quite similar to that found in auto-injectors.
Guys, this is insane. So just like a lot of SCP videos that we've watched in the past, there's like, I don't know, just like some part of it feels like it could be real. Like obviously we know about porcupines and they have like really sharp, basically needles as their defense mechanism. And we also know that pine trees and like other trees in existence like thorns, they can pretty much like prick you and then cause you to bleed. Now, luckily, nothing that we know of actually exists today that like shoots a seed inside of you, which would be super weird. But I don't know. There's something about these SCPs where they're like almost real enough. It just feels like it could be real. Like if somebody, like let's say, Albert Einstein sat me down and he was like, yeah, there's a tree that can shoot you with the seed and then, you know, a tree will grow out of your body. I would believe it. I would be like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Darwin definitely studied that one, you know, 400 years ago. That just sounds like evolution to me. But luckily, it's just an SCP, so we're safe for now, I think.
Those used to quickly treat allergic reactions. The seed itself is extremely small and is coated in a liquid that has both anesthetic and coagulant properties.
So you can't feel
which makes
it.
the process virtually undetectable. Once implanted in the skin, these seeds can lay dormant for up to 2 weeks before they begin the germination process, and the true horror of SCP-867 is revealed. Once the seeds begin to sprout and grow, they will not seek to penetrate through the skin like a plant rising out of the soil. Instead, the strange plant will grow within its host's body, spreading throughout the circulatory system. This process is extremely painful for the host.
I bet.
The plant's tendrils wind through their veins and capillary system, stretching and pressing against them.
It literally takes over the person's entire organ system.
The size of the plant's tendrils becomes too much, and the veins will begin to rupture. This leads to severe bleeding, and soon after, the death of the host.
Okay.
The entire process is quite quick, with it only taking 24 hours from when the seeds first sprout to the host dying. But that single day will feel like an eternity to the afflicted individual as they feel the plant rapidly growing inside of their body.
Okay, so it did only take one day.
Expired, this parasitoid tree is far from finished with them, or at least their body. Soon after death, a new instance of the blood spruce will burst from the body. The red tree is quite small at first, but it will continue to quickly grow, just as it did within its host's body, and can reach maturity in just 30 days.
What?
And unlike most other plants, SCP-867 is able to grow regardless of light or soil conditions.
How?
Because it does not produce food via photosynthesis. No, this plant is carnivorous. As it grows, the 867 will slowly consume its host's body until nothing remains except the blood-red tree.
So how does it eat after it runs out of the person?
Were first identified in Colorado during the 1990s, following reports of numerous disappearances of hikers and park rangers. The SCP Foundation dispatched a team to the area to investigate, and they soon discovered numerous instances of the previously unidentified tree.
So that basically means that 3 people were out there and then they all like basically died, and then the trees sprouted out of nowhere.
Several still young specimens were acquired, though unfortunately, this led to the deaths of several agents.
How?
We're not yet aware of just how dangerous the red spruces could be.
How did you not
Once their
know?
threat level was properly assessed, several specimens were flagged for containment and research purposes, while all of the other identified instances still in the
That's
wild
what you should do to this SCP. Burn it with a flamethrower.
SCP-867 were classified as Euclid and are now securely kept at a Foundation biocontainment site. Direct human contact with the plants is normally not allowed, and remote rovers are used for the majority of tests and upkeep.
That's a big brain play right there.
It is necessary for a human to enter 867's containment cell. They are to wear full hazmat suits with a Kevlar underlayer, and upon exiting the cell, must undergo a full herbicidal treatment and inspection. Should any possible puncture marks be discovered, they will be forced to quarantine for no less than 15 days. Ah, nature. It's so beautiful.
Wait a second, why would they quarantine for 15 days when they just said earlier in the video that it only takes 24 hours for this thing to kill the person? That was kind of weird.
Full and calming, yet seems determined to try and kill us in any number of ways. If you're out hiking or camping in the woods, try to remember this extremely famous adage which I may or may not have just made up. It goes, leaves of 3, let them be. Needles of red, well, you're probably already dead.
Here we go, dudes. Strap in.
It's never a nice feeling.
Get ready for this one. This is weird.
Glass in the middle of the road. The dawn sky above the biker looks almost peaceful. It's as if nothing had gone wrong at all, as if everything is right in the world. But slowly, the throbbing pain washes into his helmeted head, and the sound of the traffic surrounding him rises in his ears. A sea of onlookers gathers around as the cars blast their horns. Through the cracked visor of his helmet, the biker can see concerned faces, people calling emergency services, and a few women crying. His paramedic bike is toppled on its side about 40 feet from him. There are long black tire marks running up to where it lies, smoking slightly on its side.
He must have crashed.
With a groan, the biker sits himself up and shakes his head. Bad idea. Looking around, though, it seems he's the only one injured. His bike had gone into the front of a car at the junction. The occupants of the car stand by nervously, offering him whatever little assistance they can.
I know that this has really nothing to do with the SCP, but like this is why I am terrified of motorcycles. You never know when something bad like this could happen, and motorcycles are not very safe. So I don't know. This guy definitely is lucky to be alive right now because he got into a car accident with a car and he was just on a bicycle.
But there's no time for that, the biker suddenly realizes. He looks down at his watch frantically.
What?
It's 12:03 p.m. There's not enough time.
For what?
He rushes over to the bike as fast as he can and
What's
lifts
happening?
it back upright. A couple of onlookers try to grab his arms, trying to sit down to rest, but he can't. There's no time.
What does he have to do?
He has just 3 minutes to get to St. Mary's Hospital in central London.
What?
Right now, he's at the junction outside Baker Street Station. He can still make it on time if he gets on his bike and goes now. The biker swings his leg onto the bike and kicks it into life.
What does he have to
takes a
get
deep
there
gulp
for?
And looks over his shoulder at the box on the back of his bike. He can't risk opening it here. The damage may already be done.
Okay, guys, I wonder if the SCP is in the box in his, motorcycle, or if maybe the SCP hasn't even been introduced yet, and maybe he's just like trying to get like, I don't know, maybe some like an organ for an organ donor or somebody that like needs blood or something. Maybe he's just transporting something that's super vital that he needs to get it to the hospital immediately so that somebody like doesn't die.
But if the heart is still alive in that
Oh, it
box,
is. Okay, so it's just a heart
that a 10-year-old boy has for a normal life.
Oh, wow.
If he doesn't get to the hospital in the next 3 minutes, his life could be over.
Okay, so the stakes are very high right now.
The stand in a circle, looking down at the dead bird with a morbid fascination. Do you think it's alive?
Okay, that's Harry Potter.
The boy in the middle of the group goes to pick up a stick. With an air of false confidence, he walks up to the bird and gives it a prod.
Wait, is this the same thing?
It makes a squelching noise.
Ew.
The other kids all reel in shock, making retching noises and laughing about it. It's only when their teacher comes out to call
Okay,
them.
guys, I do have another theory, which I like to do during these SCP videos. I think that maybe the little boy is the one that maybe ate SCP-839, because the nickname of this SCP is Candied Worms, which is like probably just like a gummy worm or something like that. So I'm thinking that maybe the little boy ate this SCP and then like it infected him, which is why he now needs like a brand new heart, because the SCP maybe took over his. That's my theory right now. I have no idea if I'm actually right, but let's find out.
Outside, that the group disperses, leaving the animal carcass alone, sitting at the edge of the playground, outside the view of boring adults. Each passing day, the kids wander over to the bird's body. It's kind of the best biology lesson they've ever had, as they watch the animal slowly decompose. At first, its body just shrinks, goes flat almost.
I don't know if I want to see this.
Feathers start falling out, and it loses all of its color. Then it starts to get puffy. Different parts of its flesh bulge out in weird places, as if they're being inflated like a balloon animal at someone's birthday party. But then, the maggots come. There are only a couple of tiny white crawling wriggles
I don't like it.
But a couple of days after that, it's infested with them.
I hate it. I hate that.
Wriggle all over the body. But as the boy looks down at the dead bird,
Harry,
he spots something very peculiar, something they haven't seen in a biology.
Please tell me. Okay, if he sees a little tiny gummy worm and he eats it, I actually might throw up.
Class before, there's a red maggot wriggling and crawling in amongst the rest of the creepy crawlies.
What?
It squirms like the rest of them, but even over the course of the school day, it quickly grows larger than any of the others.
Huh?
What do you think it is? The boy stares at it. It looks like a worm. And a worm is exactly what it was. The next day, when the kids return, they see that the red maggot is now much larger
this is
than any of
gross.
the others feasting on
I
the
hate
bird.
this. I
With
want to
slightly
burn it with a
translucent
flamethrower.
body, cherry red coloring, and small white speckles on its skin. It looks unlike anything they've ever seen before.
Yeah, it looks like a
Actually,
gummy worm that
not
has
unlike
sugar on
anything
it.
they've ever seen before. It looks exactly like something that all the kids recognize very well. In fact, one of the kids has a bag of them right now that he's chewing on.
I don't like it.
A candied worm. The
Good
kids stare
stuff.
in curiosity, first at the bag of candy that their friend has in his hand, and then down at the worm, slowly eating its way through the decomposing bird. As far as their eyes can tell, the two things are exactly the same.
Okay, I'm getting really
Except, of
creeped
course,
out right
the
now.
one eating the bird seems to be alive.
I don't think I'm ever gonna eat any gummy worms ever in my entire life ever again.
Kids being kids, the next thing that happened was sort of inevitable.
Do not eat it.
One dares the boy to eat it.
You don't.
He almost retches in disgust.
Yeah, don't
There's
do that.
No way
don't
he's
do
even
that.
touching it.
Nope, don't do that. No. Wipe that smile off your face.
And dares him.
Don't. Oh, gosh.
The boy stands there
He double dog
nervously.
dared him.
He knows that he's not allowed to eat worms.
Well,
that had been
yeah.
a lesson ingrained in him from a very young age.
Are you, what? This kid has eaten worms before? What?
But his mother isn't here right now, and this thing doesn't look like any kind of worm that he's seen before. It almost
just
looks a bit
tasty. Oh, no, it doesn't.
In exchange for eating the worm,
don't you
another
dare do
one of
it.
the children promises he'll give him 5 English pounds.
That's not enough money.
Kids around the circle gasp. That's a lot of money.
No, it's
None
not.
Of them have even
No, it's
got
not.
2 pounds on them, let
Don't
alone
do
5.
it. Don't do it.
Think of all the sweets you could buy with that kind of money.
Oh, gosh.
But the boy is adamant. He pumps his chest out.
I don't
he
like
stands
this.
up tall.
I
and
don't
he
like
nods
it.
firmly. 5 pounds.
Don't do
or
it.
He wouldn't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
After some intense schoolyard debate, the deal is sealed. As the boy lies in bed that night.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that I was kind of right. He ate the SCP. Like, that has to be the SCP. And since he ate the SCP, something bad is going to happen. And I think I know a little bit more information about this SCP based on so you guys know how like gummy worms have different colors, and I think every single color represents a different version of this SCP. So he ate a red candied worm, which I think might be why it's going to take over his heart. And I think that the different colors might take over different parts of your body. That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know for sure.
Staring at the ceiling and grumbling, he knows that he's not happy about what his friends have done to him today. He's gonna get them back for this. Only he's getting a bit of a tummy ache. Getting is the wrong word. He's had a tummy ache for most of the evening. What he's experiencing now is heartburn. It feels as if something is crawling in his chest. The boy just ignores it. It's probably just his worries about the worm inside of him. He chewed it up pretty well. There's no way that it's still alive in him, surely. His uneasy sleep is punctuated by rotten dreams. Dreams in which he finds himself lying on the floor and his playground lying on the ground at school, unable to move as people gather around him to poke him with a stick. He feels his skin covered with maggots. They even crawl.
Okay, guys, this is creeping me out. Secondly, I think that I'm more scared of this type of SCP versus like Shy Guy or the statue or the prototype or the hard to destroy reptile. Like, those SCPs are big, scary monsters that I know I should be scared of. This is just an SCP that is a gummy worm. It is, let me repeat, a gummy worm, which I kind of sometimes like to eat if I'm at the movies, but now I'm gonna have to think twice about it, which is just such a weird feeling. And also too, it creeps me out that it's just a bunch of worms. I don't like it.
Across the surface of his eyes.
I feel like I need to take a shower.
Chest, there's a searing pain. The boy wakes with a start as he feels his heart pounding, thudding against his ribs. It's agonizing. Adrenaline courses through him as he sweats off his face. Crying out for his mom, the boy lies there in bed.
Oh
feeling
no,
the heart
poor dude.
attacking his system. When you decide to become a surgeon, you have to accept that you're not going to get very much sleep most nights. In fact, it's more than that. You have to not only accept that you won't get much sleep most nights, but you also have to be at your absolute best when you've had no sleep and it's the middle of the night. With over 40 years under his belt, the surgeon doesn't need coffee anymore, even when the junior doctor offers it to him as he strides toward the operating theater. Instead, he asks them to fill him in on the situation. Who's his patient? What's going on? What needs to be done? The doctor accompanying him reads the notes in a calm but hurried voice. They haven't got much time on this one at all. At any moment, the boy's heart could give out. The surgeon asks what's wrong with the organ, and the doctor looks at his notes in apparent confusion. Apparently, over the course of the night, the boy has suffered a 72% reduction in the mass of his heart.
What?
The surgeon stops just on the other side of the door.
How?
He doesn't want to have this conversation in front of his whole team. He whispers to the doctor in a terse voice, "What kind of infection does this boy have that his heart has undergone that rapid of a deterioration?"
That's insane.
"It's not an infection at all, sir. Well, sir, it's a worm." The doctor holds out a sheet to him. The surgeon takes it from him. He looks down at the x-ray to see a scan of the boy's chest cavity. It doesn't look so bad. There's a hole in the heart for sure, but the surgeon has encountered worse in his career. "This was taken when the boy was first admitted. The doctor hands the surgeon a second X-ray.
Okay.
And this was taken just 1 hour later.
What?
It is barely recognizable as a human heart. There seems to be a mass growing in the cavity that was left by the heart. And there, infecting all of the boy's organs,
the
was
SCP.
the shape of a worm. The biker weaves his way through the traffic down on Marylebone Road, eyes darting frantically in all directions. He may have a concussion, and he may not be allowed to drive at all right now. In fact, he knows he definitely isn't. But he is under strict instructions. This heart needs to get to St. Mary's Hospital before it's too late. The bike careens around the corner and skids to a halt outside the emergency doors. An ambulance team in front of him is trying to help an old lady out of the back of their vehicle.
Get out of the way, old lady!
He grabs the organ box from the back of the bike and races into the building.
Go. You got this, bro.
It takes all of his remaining concentration to navigate through the maze of hospital corridors on his way to the operating theater. On a better day, he'd be able to do this with no problem. But with his head injury, he can see the lights starting to blur all around him.
Pretty intense.
Ward 6, Ward 7, Ward 7A, Ward 7B.
Oh, no. Does he know where to go?
Feeling that energy draining from his system. He can't look at his watch. He can't check the time. He just has to find this boy. Operating theater. There, right up ahead of him. Just a couple of 100 feet.
Come on, you got this.
There's a doctor waiting outside the door who looks up at the sound of his footsteps. The biker rips his helmet off and holds out the box with the heart.
Yes!
Heavily.
Hopefully it's okay.
Truth. Is he too late? The doctor looks shell-shocked, not at the biker's arrival, but clearly at something else she's just seen.
What is it?
The man starts to explain, but runs out of words, and instead beckons the biker to follow him into the observation room.
What's going on?
The two of them stand looking through the glass at the little boy lying on the operating table.
What's wrong with him?
The surgeon standing over him.
Oh.
There's something in the air. The biker sniffs, confused. Can anyone else smell sugar? Next time you open
okay, alright, so what? The gummy worm got so big that you could literally smell the sugar in the room, which is terrifying. So it looks like the guy maybe made it in time. I guess we're just not going to find out, but wow. I cannot believe this SCP actually does that. Like, it's a candy worm that takes over your body and just like eats you from the inside out. I don't like this. This actually might be one of the scariest SCPs we've ever learned about.
Candied worms. Take a second to look through the little creepy crawlies in the bag. Perhaps poke a couple of them, just to see if any of them are moving. You can never be too careful.
Oh!
If you had told the parents of that young boy on the night when their son woke up with heart palpitations, telling stories of eating a worm at school, that the only health concerns he would have going forward were mild diabetes and a slightly raised level of blood sugar, I'm sure they would have been thrilled to hear it. You see, SCP-839, commonly referred to within the Foundation as candied worms, is much scarier on the surface than it is underneath. Not only does this SCP resemble your usual candy worm, but its body is actually composed of sugar flavorings and colorings, roughly equivalent to what you would find in most convenience store candy aisles.
So that means that, like, it basically is just a gummy worm. It's made up of, like, sugar and then sugar flakes on top. That's all it is. So how could it be so bad?
Each instance even has a small raised bit of writing near the tail specifying which flavor it is. While the origins of these worms are yet to be determined, cases have sprung up across much of the Western world, with higher numbers reported in areas with higher levels of diabetes. There seems to be a parallel between high sugar diets and the presence of SCP-839. Whether they are of man-made or other origins is yet to be determined. That is not to say that SCP-839 cannot survive outside of human populations. This SCP in the wild primarily feeds on decomposing organic matter and is capable of sustaining itself on a purely vegetarian diet.
So wait a second, if the SCP, it can infect other creatures, it also just said that it eats vegetarian stuff. So it could eat leaves, it could eat grass. Why does it infect people? Why would it infect animals if it doesn't even like need to eat them? It could just eat leaves and grass for its entire life. So why does it like target people?
However, when ingested into the human body, SCP-839 will target specific organs and burrow its way towards them. The organ in question depends on which color candied worm the SCP instance is.
Okay, so
for example,
that was
red
correct.
Cherry-flavored candied worms will burrow towards the heart and consume that.
I don't like the term burrow inside of the body.
Feed on the human's kidney.
Ugh.
One would expect the health consequences of this feeding to be severe. However, as the SCP feeds, it will also change its own shape and chemical composition until the worm itself becomes a substitute organ for the one that it is consuming.
What?
However, this substitute organ is not a perfect replacement, as other health consequences are derived from its presence.
Well, yeah, it's not like you could just like replace a normal heart with a gummied version of a heart. That's just, there's no way that could ever work.
For example, the green apple-flavored SCP-839-3 targets the eye and replaces it with a jelly green version of the human eye. While this eye is mostly capable of sight, subjects have reported mild hallucinations and blurriness of vision, as well as a greenish tint to how they see the world.
That's so weird.
Fortunately for the Foundation, SCP-839 reproduces sexually, meaning that individual instances require a partner in order to have offspring.
And that's how they make new colors.
This SCP much more feasible. Though they are a relatively low-priority entity in the broader scope of the Foundation, there are no known cases as of yet of any SCP-839 infections leading to death or serious chronic illness. Therefore, any instances that are captured by the Foundation are sent to storage site 839-1, where they are kept in a glass housing and regularly fed a diet of plant matter each day. Here, their reproductive activity can be closely monitored and controlled based on what research is needed. Those infected with SCP-839 instances can continue to live long and healthy lives, with only minor health complications arising. Therefore, the Foundation is comfortable allowing a reasonable number of cases to go unexamined in the world.
So wait a second, what they're saying here is that the boy actually didn't need the heart transplant because the gummy turned into his heart and it works pretty much the exact same as a normal heart would. So he's gonna be fine.
So, like I said, for next time you open up a bag of candied worms, maybe just give them a quick poke. You could be saving yourself a trip to the hospital and a lifetime dependence on insulin.
Today we're going to be learning about an SCP that literally is about berries that make you fart. Let's see. Okay, what? I thought this was about fart berries, not bears and pumas.
Wandering off the path and getting lost for days, the elements slowly withering you away to nothingness. There are plenty of ways you can die in the wilderness.
Yeah,
would expect death
like
to come
fart
as a result
berries.
Of a simple
Oh
bodily
no,
function
don't fart.
Decidedly anomalous twist.
The bear will find you.
Springtime in the Sierra Nevada
I can't wait to see what happens.
Undeniably beautiful. The unpredictable storms of winter are a thing of the past, but the oppressive heat of summer hasn't yet crept in. The highest peaks of the mountains are still spotted with snow, but in the foothills, the wildflowers sprout from the earth.
That's so nice.
Yellow,
I love
pink,
spring.
Purple,
Everything just comes to life in spring.
Clear waterfalls roar down the rocky mountainsides, water set free from its slumber by the melting ice as the world wakes up from a long hibernation. The summer vacation crowds haven't yet flooded the hiking trails and ski slopes, but a few groups of early adventurers can be spotted hiking through the mountains, taking in the sights and breathing in the fresh, fragrant air.
Okay guys, so as you know, I like to make predictions in these SCP videos, and if I had to guess, we're gonna come across a group of some of these people that are coming out in the spring. They're going around, they're going on some nice hikes, and every once in a while, you know, when you're hiking, you come across a berry bush. And I mean, I'm guilty of this. I have found like a you know, a little blueberry bush, and I'm like, oh, that looks delicious. Let me try to eat it, which I do not recommend because they could be poisonous. But I have a feeling that some of these guys or girls are going to come across these berries and they're going to have a little snack. And little do they know, these are the SCP fart berries. And then things are going to go extremely wrong from there.
Among these springtime visitors are a pair of young men, one with blonde hair and one with dark hair.
Okay.
Each wearing a small backpack.
What's up, boys?
A canteen of water, not a scuff to be seen on their brand new hiking boots.
So they only have water. They don't have any food.
Spring break from college, gleefully taking the hiking trip they have been talking about since they were paired up as roommates their freshman
That is a
year.
big hiking trip.
Neither of these young men is especially experienced in hiking, but they have both spent dozens of hours in the library reading up on wilderness survival, on the best ways to pitch a tent and start a fire with nothing more than sticks
so they're
and
like
two
kind of
rocks.
prepared.
The lighter-haired of the two especially prides himself on his knowledge of foraging for edible wild plants.
Oh.
A skill he is excited to put to the test on this trip.
So he's going
His
to find the
dark-haired
berries.
companion is a bit more suspicious of wild plants, frightened by the stories of foraging gone wrong and unfortunate explorers confusing a delicious mushroom for one that stops the heart in minutes.
Yep, you
He has
literally
filled his bag
never
with
have any
provisions
idea,
with
so you gotta
granola,
be extra
turkey,
careful.
Dried fruits, and cans of beans that he hopes his friend will share with him, rather than risking his safety by gambling on a wild root or berry. Still, his concerns about foraging are soon forgotten as the two proceed further along the trail, passing sparkling waterfalls, bighorn sheep grazing on wild plants, and a bird that just might be a bald eagle soaring by overhead.
Oh my gosh, dude,
The two
I would
are
love to be
lost
out
in
there.
The majesty of nature.
It looks
So lost,
amazing.
in fact, that they forget to eat until the sun is dipping over the horizon.
Okay,
The world
well,
is growing dark around them.
Yeah, you should probably
Out
eat some
here
of
in
the
mountains,
granola
with
that you
no light
brought, or
pollution to
like the
speak
chocolate
of,
bars.
Dark is dark. Even with the help of the lanterns they brought, the two men can scarcely see well enough to put up their tents and build a small fire.
Okay, that was a
Still,
mistake.
They remember all of their reading.
So if you guys are ever out camping, pro tip, I'm surprised they didn't do this because they read up on how to camp. You're supposed to pitch your tent before it turns pitch black because it's so much more difficult to do it when you can't see anything.
and managed to set up a modest camp for the night.
Oh, it's actually pretty
The dark-haired
impressive.
man pulls a bag of beans from his backpack and begins to heat them over the flame. He offers some to his companion, but he refuses. The
Why?
blonde man has found a shrub that he
my
recognizes,
God.
weighed down with ripe fruit. This shrub, he explains to his friend, is a species of manzanita, an evergreen shrub that produces berries similar in flavor to little apples. The dark-haired man is dubious. Aren't manzanita berries typically red in color? These appear to
Interesting.
be a shade of brown.
Wait. The young man reaches out and stops his friend just before he can pop the berries into his mouth. At least let me look them up on my phone. That won't work out here,
Wait,
his friend
what?
tells him. The government blocks access to the web out here. They don't want you on the internet. It's a big conspiracy. Everyone knows
Okay,
about it.
something's up with
Page
this guy.
unavailable. His friend is right. But wait, he has the ultimate tool to defeat this intrusion on his lunch.
Wait, is it like a
because he
VPN?
has Surfshark VPN.
Wait a second, I've never seen a sponsor on a Dr. Bob video. What the heck? Do they know that they're sponsoring an SCP video about fart berries? That is hysterical.
The wannabe forager insists that he has correctly identified the plant and that these berries will be his dinner.
I don't
The
know. Why
dark-haired
would you
man
not just
shrugs
eat the
and
food
treats
that your
himself
friend
to a
brought?
meal of beans and dried apples, while his friend munches on handfuls of the brown berries. He has no complaints about the taste and does not immediately drop dead upon eating them, so perhaps he was right. These
Oh,
are manzanitas
no.
after all. As soon as the thought crosses the dark-haired man's mind, he sees his friend double over,
Oh my
clutching at his
gosh,
stomach in
yo, that was so
discomfort.
fast.
Afraid for his friend's safety, he rushes to his side, only to be met with a long, loud fart. The two share a laugh, the tension broken by a sudden smelly outburst, but the humor soon fades as the blonde man farts again.
He's still
and
going?
again and again.
Okay, he definitely pooped
All
his
through the
pants.
night, he continues to emit loud,
all through the
excruciatingly smelly
night?
farts. The
That's
smell
impressive,
permeates the campsite,
honestly.
seeping into the dark-haired man's tent, no matter how he tries to cover his nose with his sleeping bag.
Oh, that
He
is
doesn't
so
get a wink of
gross.
sleep, spending the night wide awake, staring at the ceiling
Dude,
of his
I
tent,
can't.
and silently
There's just
wishing for the relentless
a
stream of
fart
gas to
sound
stop.
constantly in my ears.
But it doesn't. It just carries on until the dark-haired man can scarcely remember a time when he wasn't listening to the maddening sound.
This
Again
is
and again
hysterical.
and again, the endless farts. He clenches his fists
That's so
until the knuckles
good.
turn white, clenches his jaw.
I would
and
totally
grinds his
eat
teeth.
these.
It's enough to drive a man
This is a
insane.
great
The
thing to
next
do to
morning,
prank
it
your
is still
friends.
happening. The blonde man expresses embarrassment, but does not apologize for ignoring his friend's warnings about the berries.
So he
tries to
slept
laugh
through
it
the
off,
night
but the
while
dark-haired man
farting.
does not join him in his laughter.
He was literally farting in his sleep for like 10 hours. That is awesome.
If he had only listened, they wouldn't be in this situation. They wouldn't be about to continue their hike with this rancid, gaseous albatross around their necks. As they pack up camp, the dark-haired man glances down at the tent pole in his hand. One good swing, and he could put a stop to the madness.
Oh my gosh, he's
No,
going to
it's
kill
ridiculous.
his friend
He shakes
just
his
for
head, clearing the
farting?
impulse from his mind. Gastrointestinal distress will pass soon, and they will be able to continue the trip like
Maybe
they
that's
planned.
part of it,
But
guys.
It doesn't pass. Nothing.
Maybe the SCP doesn't affect the person other than making them fart. Maybe it affects everybody around them by A, keeping them awake, and B, what if like the fart gas is different than normal farts? What if it's like a special chemical that makes you extremely angry and disgruntled and like super annoyed so that you kill the person that ate the berries? I could see that happening.
Nothing passes, but the gas itself. The blonde man asks if they can stop for water.
Did he
before
poop
they've even
yet?
been hiking for an hour.
You should try to
He
poop.
isn't feeling very well, he explains. He woke up dizzy and nauseated, disoriented from lying there all night, breathing in the fumes. The dark-haired man wants to say something, to retort that he too was suffering all night, but he doesn't. He just lets his friend stop to drink some water, and they proceed with the hike. Gone is the magic of the previous day, the time before the cursed berries. The men can no longer smell the wildflowers, the crisp mountain air.
They can
There
only
are no wild
smell
animals to be
fart
found,
gas.
Not a single ground squirrel or little bird. Up ahead on the trail, the dark-haired man catches the barest glimpse of a tail vanishing into the brush as a mountain lion runs the other way.
Okay, that's a little
Is
scary.
it fleeing from them? From the stench? He wouldn't blame the beast if it was. They have 5 more days of this planned, and he can feel his resolve beginning to fade. Maybe he can turn back and ask to cut the trip short now, but why should he have to suffer just because his friend made a mistake identifying a wild berry? It isn't fair. If he could just get a moment to think without the incessant farting, if he could just have 1 second.
Oh my gosh, he's actually getting so mad.
But no respite comes. If anything, it only seems to get worse. The smell burns his nostrils. The sound rings in his ears.
Oh my gosh.
The blonde man tries to speak over it, to clear the air with pleasant conversation, but the dark-haired man brushes him off with grunts and shrugs. His eyes sting and water. He chokes on the stench. He knows
Wow,
in
it
his
really
heart
is getting
he can't
worse.
take much more of this. When the men make camp for the night again, the dark-haired man's thoughts turn dark. He could just leave in the dead of night while his friend is sleeping, rush off into the wilderness and abandon his companion there, freeing himself from the farts. He tries
Freeing
to justify
himself from the
They both have the
farts.
survival skills to make it. He'll be fine. His thoughts of leaving his friend alone in the woods are interrupted by the sound of chewing. Is there any animal nearby?
Wait a
No,
second.
Surely no animal would approach, given the smell.
Okay.
He takes a look in the blonde man's
I'm a little
tent
bit nervous.
and finds his friend eating another handful of those same brown berries.
No.
The dark-haired man flies into a rage,
What?
unable to contain his fury. How could he do this? How could he eat more of them after what happened the first time?
Okay, either this guy loves these berries or the berries make you want to eat more of them, which is why he's doing it. Or he really likes farting. I guess that's the third option.
Doesn't he understand what this is doing to him, what it's doing to the both of them?
He got caught red-handed.
Selfish?
That's
The
so
blonde
funny.
man insists that it's fine, that the farting can't possibly be related to the berries.
Well,
because
yeah,
manzanitas
it
don't cause that
definitely
sort of
is.
thing. At this, something in the dark-haired man snaps. He can't take it anymore.
Oh my God, he's gonna
He
kill
turns away
him.
from the tent, throwing up his hands and telling the blonde man to find his own way back. They'll split up from here. The blonde man emerges from his tent, begging his friend not
Look
to
at the
cast him out.
fumes.
He's certain the farting will stop any day now. At
Any
this,
day?
It seems to grow louder and more potent. The dark-haired
He's starting
man
to
spots a
charge
large
up his
rock by the
farts.
campfire,
Oh my
small
God,
enough to
no.
hold in his hand, hefty enough to do some real damage.
Wait, there's no way he's about to
He
kill
picks
his
it up
friend
and
over some
turns to meet his
farts.
friend. Without thinking, he swings the rock at the blonde man's head.
What?
For the first time in days, the sound of farts goes silent. The air
He
smells
killed
sweet,
him
like
over
flowers, leaves,
farts.
and campfire smoke. He did what he had to do.
I don't know about
The
that
dark-haired
one.
man lets out a sigh of relief, the rock falling from his hand. He glances at the rock on
Wow.
the ground, at the blood dripping down its surface, and realizes the full weight
Well, yeah,
of what he
you
has
just
done.
killed a man for
He packs up the
farting.
campsite as quickly as he can, douses the fire, and dumps the body over the edge
Oh my
of a
God.
nearby cliff.
Is it gonna fart on the way
The
down?
next few days, he hikes back the way he and his friend came, noticing, in spite of his gnawing guilt, that the walk really is so much better without those damned farts. On the way,
He looks
passes
so
that
much
bush,
happier.
That horrible bush, weighed down by the fruit that destroyed his spring break.
Oh no,
trip,
he's gonna
that
do it.
Destroyed his friend's life.
He's gonna do
He
it.
opens his backpack, tearing a page from one of his books and grabbing a pen. He scribbles a warning: no matter what,
Oh my gosh.
do not eat these berries, and affixes it to the bush.
I would take a few
You can
back
only
with
hope that
me.
the
You
next
know,
person
it
to
could be a
stumble on
cool
this shrub
prank.
will see the note and heed its warning. If they don't, they might meet a similar fate. Days later, the park rangers discover the blonde man's body
okay.
and declare the death an accident.
We're back to the
caused
start
when
of
man
the
fell over
video.
side of the cliff. Some of them suspect foul play, but are unable to find any evidence. All they can find is a strange note on an unidentified shrub and the faintest smell of something foul, like rotten eggs. The two doomed hikers had no way of knowing this, but the fruit they foraged was not from the Manzanita family. It was from a plant known as SCP-4032.
Fart berries.
SCP-4032 is a wide, deciduous shrub characterized by a rounded crown and wider base. It produces a distinct, small, round brown fruit that has been designated SCP-4032-1.
I mean, guys, this has to be the weirdest SCP we've ever seen.
Of SCP-4032-1, this meal will result in intense gastrointestinal distress. I will try to describe this as delicately as I possibly can, but as I have learned over the years in my line of work, The truth is rarely delicate or polite.
Tell me more about the
1 hour following the
dingleberries.
consumption of an SCP-4032-1 instance, the person or animal will begin to emit an excessive amount of flatulence, consisting of elevated hydrogen sulfide levels and a small but detectable amount of methane gas.
Okay,
Perhaps
that
you are
seems like a
familiar
normal
with an old
fart.
rhyming song about the wonders of beans, the magical fruit. These berries
Yes.
function quite similarly. The more one eats, the more one does, in fact, for want of a better word, toot. However, unlike the second part of the bean-based rhyme,
Toot berries.
these fruits do not cause their unfortunate consumers to feel better, nor should they be eaten at every or any meal. The Foundation first
Interesting,
discovered
okay.
SCP-4032 on April 2nd, 2018, after a man named Anthony Green happened upon the plant in the foothills of Northern California. Hungry enough to forget his better judgment, Anthony ate some of the fruit and became immediately concerned
Oh,
for
no.
his physical well-being.
The more you
as
eat, the more you toot.
SCP-4032's effects began to take hold. Fearing he had unknowingly consumed a poisonous plant, he made a distress call to the local search and rescue team. This call was intercepted by Foundation operatives, who swiftly arrived at the scene to bring both Anthony and the
Wait,
plant
why?
itself into custody.
Why would they?
The affected individual will continue.
Why would they go after this guy, the SCP Foundation, literally because he called somebody saying, hey, I think I got like poisoned by these berries that are making me fart? I guess maybe they had prior knowledge of this SCP, but yeah. I can't even imagine how somebody thought of this and was like, hey, yeah, this is an SCP after all. Yeah, they're just berries that make you pass gas constantly.
Continue to produce this.
I wonder if it ever goes
until they
away.
Have expired. Both starvation and dehydration have no impact on the flatulence, and no identifiable source of the gaseous output has been detected via endoscopy.
Ew, where does
If
that
an
go?
affected individual finds themselves in an area without adequate ventilation, they will gradually begin to experience symptoms brought on by hydrogen sulfide poisoning, including
Oh
but
my
not
gosh.
limited to conjunctivitis.
You can
respiratory
literally kill
irritation and
yourself
coughing,
with
loss
your
of
own
smell,
farts.
and eventually pulmonary edema.
They
and
are
death.
deadly fart
Shortly
berries.
following SCP-4032's discovery, Dr. Logari began conducting a thorough observation of Anthony Green, referred to as D-14478 for the purposes of official documentation.
Oh, he became
as
a
he suffered
T-class
from the effects
personnel.
of consuming
Wow.
SCP-4032-1. First, he was brought in for observation and placed in cell 14B on the outside of Site 88. Dr. Logari noted copious amounts of flatulence being emitted by the subject, with high levels of hydrogen sulfide and
Oh my
methane.
gosh, they're so bad.
5
You can
hours later,
see
The
them.
subject was complaining about gas buildup in his cell, and the interior venting hood was activated. 3 hours and over 50 complaints later, maintenance staff deactivated the interior venting hood and opened exterior windows.
That's so
in an
funny.
attempt to quell some of the relentless flatulence.
Dude, they're making everybody so sick.
D-14478 was placed on an intravenous diet. After 2 days on the intravenous diet and no changes to the subject's gas emissions, medical staff conducted an endoscopy, which revealed that the colon was clear and there were no
So,
visible signs of rectal gas.
where did
the
it
following day,
go?
a staff meeting was held in order to discuss the impact of D-14478's condition on the quality of life at the facility. Both residents and researchers alike had complained about the persistent smell, which
Okay, obviously nobody likes the smell, but we haven't answered the best question. Like, how many of these do you need to eat? Is it just one and then you're gonna fart forever? Or do you have to eat like 10 of these and then you're gonna have crazy gas for the rest of your life? Or if you just keep eating more, does it keep getting more like aggressive? Are your farts going to be nuclear farts if I eat like 69 berries? These are the answers that I need.
they were unable to escape and was permeating the air outside as well as throughout the interior of the building. Several options were proposed, including relocation, treatment, and failing all else, termination of the
Oh, you're gonna
subject.
kill him over
A
the fart.
resolution was passed
I guess
to
that would be
house
the first time we saw that.
D-14478 in an outdoor facility until proper filtering equipment could be installed. A little over a week later, Foundation agents intercepted reports from nearby environmental watch groups concerning
What?
an increase in airborne pollution in the central Alabama area.
Are you
around
kidding
Site
me?
88,
So it
with
does get worse.
D-14478's condition threatening not only the morale at Site 88, but the environment itself.
Holy
An additional
smokes.
resolution was passed in order to transfer D-14478 into an experimental air filtering cell. The cell had not yet passed a safety inspection.
Okay, so he's
Those with
probably
objections
going
were
to die.
overruled by the vote of the majority. The following day, subject D-14478 was found dead in
Oh,
his
but
cell.
yeah, you saw
An
that coming a
investigation
mile
into the cause
away.
of death determined that the primary filter was improperly constructed.
Yup.
Both it and its associated sensor had malfunctioned.
Oh, wow.
There was one silver lining to this unfortunate incident,
The
however.
fart
The
stopped.
effects of SCP-4032-1 mercifully ceased following the subject's death.
Oh my
The
gosh.
post-mortem report was filed with the Ethics Committee, and Dr. Lugari was placed on temporary administrative leave. Meanwhile, a large order of scented candles was placed with the staff of Site-88.
This
And soon,
SCP is
the
so
unpleasant odor
ridiculous.
was replaced with
I love
smells
it.
of lavender, vanilla, sugar, and pine. In Dr. Lugari's absence, Dr. Carlisle was appointed to the position of lead researcher on SCP-4032. Following the approval of the Ethics Committee, Dr. Carlisle began conducting a series of animal tests using SCP-4032.
Oh.
The first test subject
Does
selected
it work on
was
animals?
The Araucanian herring. An instance of
Do fish fart?
SCP-4032-1 was crushed and added to a mix of copepods and krill, which were then fed to a small school of herring. 15 minutes after the consumption of SCP-4032-1, the herring's
Oh my
usual
God.
flatus production increased dramatically.
I didn't
This
realize
caused great
fish
distress to the
fart.
school of fish, as this species ordinarily uses flatulence as a means of communication.
That's so funny.
Samples
Wait,
of the
wait,
flat-
did he just say that they fart to communicate? I feel like we should start trying this as a human population.
Were taken and analyzed, and were found to contain hydrogen sulfide and methane, though the levels of both were lower than they had been in human subjects. 3 hours after their initial feeding, the herring were euthanized and taken for autopsy and chemical analysis. There was no post-mortem evidence found of SCP-4032-1's effects.
That's so
Next,
weird.
a flock of chickens was selected
Oh,
for
no.
testing. They were offered a handful of SCP-4032-1
These poor
directly,
chickens.
which they refused to taste.
Good.
The fruit was then crushed and added to chicken feed.
Oh, no.
which was
They've
fed to the
been
chickens
tricked.
With great success.
They've
2
been
hours
tricked by
after
the
eating
fart berries.
SCP-4032-1, all of the chickens began to emit gas containing low levels of methane and hydrogen sulfide. The chickens were promptly euthanized and taken
No!
for analysis.
Poor
An autopsy
chickies.
determined that the bird's short intestinal tracts were distended.
does that mean?
Marked the first
Does anybody
recorded
know what that
visible
means?
sign of the fruit's impact on a test subject. The next animals selected
Oh
for
my
testing
God.
were brown-throated three-toed sloths. This particular species was chosen due to its lack of flatulence, as these sloths
They
tend to absorb
don't
flatus
fart?
and release it through their lungs rather than rectally.
Oh, so they breathe
Fruit
out
was offered
farts?
directly at first, but the
Interesting.
sloths rejected it. The fruit was then crushed and ground.
So it
with
looks
a
like
mixture of
animals
tree
are
leaves
smarter than
and fed
humans when
the
it comes to
sloths.
eating the fart berries.
Whatever happened next has been redacted from the official Foundation file.
Wait,
But
what?
it was disturbing enough to bring a grinding halt to any and all future testing of
Okay, I have a theory that since sloths don't fart usually, they usually breathe it out, that maybe it just like didn't have anywhere to go and all of the gas built up and then the sloth exploded in like a giant nuclear fart. That's what I'm thinking.
SCP-4032 on large mammals. Any potential animal experiments involving SCP-4032 must be approved by the Ethics Committee in order to prevent another, quote, sloth
incident.
SCP-4032
Sloth
has been
incident.
contained in a cordoned-off portion of the research gardens at Site-67, which consists of the area around SCP-4032's original location. This land was purchased by the Foundation, and a research facility disguised as a personal estate was constructed there. SCP-4032, along with several other anomalous plants, is kept in the garden portion of the site. All instances of SCP-4032-1 are to be gathered from the ground on a daily basis
And then what?
incinerated
Oh,
on site.
okay, yeah, that's
Any
probably for the
employees
best.
found to be using the berries for unapproved personal
Dude,
purposes will be
what?
suspended or terminated from their positions.
He literally
Many
got
animals
caught
wander
with
onto
a
the grounds
fart
and
berry.
consume the berries.
That's
They
so
must be
embarrassing.
captured and euthanized, and their bodies
wow.
incinerated.
Oh wow, okay, that's a
Though there
little
is currently
aggressive.
only one known specimen of SCP-4032, the Foundation has a contingency
I thought there were
plan in
two.
place should any additional specimens be discovered. If this happens, Mobile Task Force Alpha 67 Weed Whackers will be dispatched to the specimen's location, where they will uproot it and bring it back to Site 67 to be contained. Any humans that consume an instance of SCP-4032-1 must be contained in holding cells B1 through B5 along the outer perimeter of Site 67. Each of these cells is equipped with 3 air filters containing Thiobacillus thioparus, chemolithoatrophic sulfur-oxidizing bacteria.
Is he
embedded
speaking
in a
English?
mixture of peat and polyurethane. Each filter
Okay.
also contains sensors intended to detect hydrogen sulfide and methane. When the sensors are activated, members of Mobile Task Force Alpha 13, Odor Eaters, are dispatched to
Odor
escort the affected
Eaters.
individual outside.
That's
until
such
the
a
filters
funny
in their cell
nickname.
Can be repaired.
Fart
Currently,
Eaters.
The Foundation does not believe there to be any additional specimens of SCP-4032 in the wild. However, there is no way to be certain of this due to the plant's relatively unassuming appearance and the lack of any information on its origins. It is entirely possible that there are more of these shrubs just waiting to be discovered by an unfortunate hiker wandering off the beaten path. So if you find yourself out in nature with an empty stomach, make sure that you have accurately identified any of the
I will
wild
not be
plants you
eating it.
consume. If you don't, you may be met with a fate that is silent but deadly.
Here we go.
A 7-year-old girl and her 13-year-old brother are settling in for their favorite after-school activity, watching TV. The children's parents won't be home from work for several hours, and watching the after-school programming together before making a snack is a staple of their day. The boy takes his normal position on the couch as the girl plants herself right in front of the television and turns it on. This is the time when Pretty Pony Paradise comes on, and she never misses an episode.
Oh no,
The brother would
dudes.
prefer something else, but he also loves to see his sister happy.
Aw.
So he always lets her watch the ponies have their adventures.
It starts out
Today,
so
though,
wholesome.
when she turns to the right channel, there's something else.
Oh
Instead of the usual
no.
Pretty Pony theme song, circus music comes out of the television speakers. The girl watches as the brightly colored words "Bobble the Clown"
Bobble the
appear on
Clown.
screen. Hey, this isn't Pretty Ponies, she says to her brother. But when she looks back,
What?
he's asleep.
Oh my,
The
wait,
girl
what?
isn't happy, but she decides to give this new show a chance.
He fell asleep so
And maybe
fast.
her pony show will come on after anyway. The circus music stops, and a happy-looking clown cartwheels onto the screen.
Guys, that is not a happy-looking clown.
The
That thing
garish
is
clown says,
freaky.
Do you like fun?
Comment down below how you guys feel about clowns. Personally, I have always been terrified of clowns. Anytime I see one in real life, I just turn around and I go the opposite direction. They creep me out.
The girl did like fun. Perhaps this new show wouldn't be so bad. She watches as Bobble walks down the street of an average, happy American small town. Everyone seems to love the happy clown, waving at him as he passes by. Bobble pauses in front of a house where a man is mowing the lawn. He convinces the man to stop his yard work and join him. And the two happily
Okay.
head down the sidewalk
So far,
together.
so good.
The girl is a little confused by this show. There's not much in the way of jokes, but she decides to keep watching anyway. Bobble and his new friend stop in front of a house that is painted to resemble a circus tent. This must be where Bobble lives. He invites the man in, and they both enter the house. Inside,
I don't know
Bobble
about
motions
this,
the man
guys.
to sit while he prepares some refreshments. The girl watches as Bobble moves to the kitchen. There, he begins sharpening knives as he explains directly to the camera the best way to prepare meat, the way the skin must carefully be removed from the flesh, and how the bones should be saved for future soup stocks.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know this for sure, but I have a weird feeling that Bobble the Clown, first off, obviously is the SCP, and secondly, I think that this TV show is about Bobble the Clown pretty much luring people to his house like just normal people, and then he tricks them and then does something to them, and then, I don't know, they get knocked out or they get tied up, and then he just starts chopping up their bodies or something weird like that. I don't know for sure, but this is definitely getting super creepy.
The girl watches with fascination as Bobble teaches his special lesson. Maybe this is a good show after all. Maybe this is her new favorite show. The girl gets up, her brother still asleep, and heads to the kitchen. She pulls out a drawer to help her reach the counter. where the
Wait,
knife block is,
no.
and pulls out the meat cleaver.
Are you kidding
Looks
me
at it
right
gleaming in the
now?
light, entranced by its sharp, shiny edge. The girl returns to the living room. and gets up
What
onto
are
the
you
couch next to her
doing,
sleeping
girl?
brother. She watches as Bobble steps away from his pot of red, boiling meat.
Okay.
Looks right into the
What
camera.
kind of meat is
The
that?
girl stands up and holds up the meat cleaver.
Okay, guys, why does she look so, like, confident holding a knife like that? Like, I wonder if the SCP is taking over her mind and making her think that, like, what is happening is okay, when in reality, I don't know. She is definitely losing her brain right now. She has, like, -12 brain cells, because I have a weird feeling that she's in a trance, and Bobble the Clown is going to make her kill her own brother.
Bobble walks towards the camera with fascination in his eyes, as if he can see through the screen.
I was gonna say, he's looking at me like he is looking into my soul.
She slowly raises the knife above her head.
Don't do
As
it.
Bobble starts whispering,
No, no, no.
"Come on."
No, no, no. No, 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 no.
licking
Bobble.
his lips in anticipation.
Bobble, please do not come out of
The
that
girl
TV.
pauses for a second,
looks at her sleeping brother one more time,
Wake up.
and brings the cleaver.
Oh my gosh!
Hi,
You gotta be kidding
I'm
me.
Dr. Bob, and this is SCP-993, also known as Bobble the Clown.
Guys, on this channel, we've investigated some absolutely crazy SCPs, but I've never seen an SCP that makes a kid actually turn into a killer. Like, she just, I don't know if she like thought that that was okay, but I don't know, man. I've never seen an SCP make a child do something that horrible. I can't believe it. This might be one of the worst SCPs we've ever checked out.
SCP-993 is the designation the SCP Foundation has given to a children's television program entitled Bobble the Clown.
I wonder if this is
At
made
first
by
glance,
Dr.
The Bobble
Wondertainment.
the Clown show appears to be a standard children's educational cartoon with bright colors, a mascot, and a rote formula. that
His
involves the
eyes
titular character,
creep
Bobble
me
the
out.
Clown, learning a new skill or engaging in a new activity. The program appears to have no recurring supporting cast, with Bobble being the only character who returns to each episode. The settings usually change between episodes as well, with Bobble often being seen in a new or unique location. Despite appearing as a show made for children, the anomalous properties exhibited by this strange television program make themselves apparent almost immediately. First, anyone older than the age of 10 who watches the show
Oh, wow.
will immediately fall unconscious as soon as it begins.
So you don't even need to be an adult. I thought maybe this would target, kids under the age of 18 or under the age of like 16, like younger kids, but like teenagers were still included in that. But no, this is like you have to be an actual kid. And if you're not, you're going to pass out. And then basically you're going to get murdered by a child, by a 6-year-old with a cleaver in their hand, which is absolutely insane.
And will remain in a comatose state until the program ends.
So that's why the brother
Upon
fell
waking,
asleep so
they will report
fast.
having felt a painful, stabbing headache just prior to falling unconscious. The show's most disturbing property, though, is what has been described by those under the age of 10 who are able to view the program. They report seeing Bobble the Clown teach lessons similar to the way many children's shows extol the virtues of good hygiene or going to bed on time. But with Bobble, the lessons are quite different.
Exactly. It's like Dora the Explorer if Dora was actually a serial killer, pretty much.
Topics that Bobble has presented lessons on and encouraged children to try have included torture,
Oh my-
murder,
Yo,
and even cannibalism.
Bro!
As the subject watches,
Wait, what
the
was that
lessons
last
appear to become
one?
ingrained in their minds, and repeated exposure to the show
my
has resulted
gosh.
in permanent effects that resemble symptoms of psychosis and schizophrenia.
Okay, so it does
Documented
kind of like
episodes of
change
Bobble
your
the Clown
mind
have
when you
included
watch this
Bobble
show
in the
as a
Big City,
kid.
in which Bobble appears in a large United States city reminiscent of New York, and instructs the viewer on various ways to avoid detection when lighting fires with common resources like mosquito coils. The episode
What?
ends with Bobble setting fire to
Are
a
you
large building
serious?
before he exits the screen.
He's like the
camera
real life
continues
Joker.
To stay locked on the burning building for several more minutes as the sound of screams can be heard.
I kind of want to know like who's
In another
filming
title,
this.
Bobble's Sneaky Saturday, Bobble is again in a major city, this time one that looks similar to London, England, with the Elizabeth Tower containing Big Ben visible in the background. In this episode, Bobble is shown to be quietly following a woman as she walks into her home.
Lady,
Once she
turn
arrives,
around, lady.
Bobble attacks her with a large butcher knife before
Bro,
giving the audience
Bobble
tips on
is
how to remain
absolutely
unnoticed in crowded
nuts.
places.
These kids are
Bobble
watching
gets
it
the
like
truth,
this is the
finds
best
clown
content
in a
they've
prisoner
ever
of war
seen.
camp, where Bobble is shown torturing a captured soldier as he
Yo!
asks him nonsensical questions that the soldier cannot possibly answer.
Are you
This
kidding me?
continues until the prisoner dies, after which Bobble details methods for inflicting painful but non-lethal injuries.
Okay, guys, I feel like this actually would make for like a pretty cool, like adult TV series, like some sort of like horror series, but definitely not meant for kids. Like the fact that this is meant for kids under the age of 10 and anybody that's older than 10 falls asleep and is at risk of being, unalived by a young child. The fact that that is like what this SCP is just so messed up, but it would make for a pretty good like Netflix series if, somebody ever decided that they wanted to turn this into some sort of like really cool dark horror series. I think it could work pretty well.
Bobble Hates You is one of the most
Bobble
unnerving
Hates You?
documented episodes.
Bobble?
It consists of Bobble sitting alone
Bobble?
in a blank room,
Bobble?
silently and angrily staring at the viewer.
Bobble, what
for
did
a
I do?
full 30 minutes.
30 minutes
But
of
the
just
strangest of
staring?
all is from an episode title filled with expletives, in which Bobble appears to be in a Foundation secure site video archive room, the same one where recordings of Bobble the Clown are stored.
Okay, wait a second. So he broke into an SCP facility where they have all of these tapes of Bobble and like previous episodes. So wait, how would that even happen? What is Bobble? Because we think that Bobble is like a normal human, kind of. Maybe not normal, but like, is he a human or is he more like a spirit that can like teleport around? Is he some sort of like demonic creature? Like, we don't know exactly what Bobble even is.
In this episode, a rage-filled Bobble describes methods for breaching several SCP's containment.
Oh.
He then gives personal details about the researchers assigned to these SCPs, including their daily routines, before offering several potential ways to murder them.
Okay, so Bobble is like freaking nuts. He's actually nuts.
At one point, an animated depiction of a particular SCP Foundation researcher is seen to walk past Bobble.
Okay.
A clock on the wall shows the time, and this same researcher later confirmed that they did, in fact, walk through the video archive at this exact time.
Wait, so Bobble was there?
Recollection of seeing an animated clown filming a television program in the room when they did so.
Oh my god.
Episodes of Bobble the Clown continue to be broadcast from an unknown source, but future episodes are to be intercepted using Protocol Upsilon Beta 3 to prevent them from being seen by the public. All broadcasts are recorded for the Foundation's archives, and in order to perform research on the anomaly, subjects under the age of 10 must be used to view them. Once the viewers have described what takes place in the episode, they are then to immediately be administered Class A amnestics.
Gotcha. That's actually kind of crazy. So they have children pretty much like working for the SCP Foundation, and they have them watch through these Bobble the Clown episodes, and as soon as they watch through and explain what happens, they get like Men in Black memory wiped so that they don't have any recollection, and their brains, I guess, won't become altered by Bobble the Clown. That is, I don't know. It's kind of messed up that the SCP Foundation is using kids, but at the same time, they need to figure out like what Bobble the Clown is in order to secure, contain, and protect. That's just what they got to do.
Episodes pose to those who view them, since they are able to be reliably blocked from public broadcast. SCP-993 has been classified as safe.
Okay.
And for now,
that's good.
Bobble the Clown appears to be contained as well as it can be.
Who are you talking to? The young boy spins around, surprised to find his father standing behind him. The boy seems nervous and hesitant to answer, but after being asked again, he admits to his father that he was talking to the lady in the fountain. The boy's father is confused. The lady in the fountain? That's right. The boy explains that she is nice, just like Mom. He thinks the woman in the fountain may even be his mom.
Hold on, wait a second.
He takes the boy's hand and leads him back inside the house, where the father is hosting a small get-together.
Yeah, that would be really creepy.
Asks if things are okay, and he tells her that everything is fine. He's just worried about his son.
I would be too.
It has been a very difficult year following the death of his wife.
Oh.
He tells her that he's afraid he might be developing behavioral issues as he watches the boy staring out the window at the fountain in their backyard. Later that week in school, the children are supposed to be drawing pictures of their families. The teacher moves from child to child, checking on their progress, and stops at the boy. She wants to know what he's working on. The boy explains that it is a drawing of him, his dad, and his mom who live.
Okay, guys, I have two theories going on right now. Either one, the boy is just imagining his mom in the fountain, or imagining whatever the SCP is that's in the fountain, which is better known as the water nymph. He's thinking that that's his mom just because he lost his mom, and you gotta replace things that you've lost, especially when you're a young child. Or number two, his mom turned into an SCP, which would be even more creepy, and I feel really bad for the kid, because if that's the case, yeah, he's probably gonna need therapy for the rest of his life. So I kind of hope it's the first one. But yeah, supposedly, this is one of the friendliest SCPs to ever exist, and I don't know why yet, so I'm kind of curious to learn more about it.
Lives in the fountain. The teacher doesn't understand. His mom lives in the fountain? That's right, the boy tells her. The fountain in their backyard was her favorite place in the whole world. His mother had told him that it was a magical place and was the reason they bought the house. After she died, he heard a voice coming from the fountain. It doesn't sound like his mom, but he knows it's her. She lives in the fountain now. The father thanks the teacher for calling and promises that he'll talk to his son. He's very sorry that the other children are frightened by the stories about a woman in their fountain, and he's going to make sure this whole business comes to an end for good. That night, as he is putting the boy to bed, he tells him that he knows he misses his mom, but he needs to stop with all of these claims about a woman in the fountain. And as much as he misses her and wishes that his mother would come back, he needs to realize that she's gone and not coming back. The father kisses the boy on the forehead and tells him one more time that there will be no more stories about the woman before tucking him in for the night. As soon as his father is gone, though, the boy gets out of bed.
He's gonna hear the sound again.
Window that looks down on their backyard and stares at the fountain. He watches as reflections dance on the rippling water. The water goes oddly still until a hand that appears to be made out of water seems to emerge out of the surface of the fountain and waves at him. The father leaves the bathroom and...
Okay, I'm starting to think that this might be the mom turned into an SCP, but we don't know exactly how that would even happen. But I am curious, too, if maybe the kid is the only one that can see the mom, because the mom, as the SCP, knows that, like, maybe the kid is the only person that will believe that this is actually, like, able to happen, since kids just have more imaginations. But yeah, I have no idea if it's actually the mom yet. I think that it might be, or if it's just an SCP that the boy thinks is his mom, which would be really creepy.
Glances in to check on his son before heading back to his bedroom. He bolts upright when it dawns on him that his son wasn't in bed. He runs into the son's room and pulls the blankets off the bed, but no one is there.
Check the fountain.
He calls for his son and looks around the room when he sees something. He hurries to the window where he watches as his son walks towards the fountain.
Wait a second, this might turn really bad.
But what really has his attention is the woman.
Oh my goodness!
And shining under the moonlight, beckoning for the boy to approach her. The father rushes downstairs and out into the backyard, where his son is in an embrace with the watery woman. He is terrified, but his fatherly instincts take over and he sprints to the fountain and rips the boy away from the creature. As he pulls the boy back from the fountain, he watches as the solid, watery figure of the woman appears to turn back into a liquid and collapse into the fountain.
Okay, so that's probably for the best, because now the dad knows that his son is not crazy and that there actually is a woman living in their fountain. I don't know where you go from there, because if you, like, let's say you call the cops, they're probably gonna think you're insane. So I really don't know, like, what you would do. Comment down below what you would do in that particular situation. Personally speaking, I would probably never tell anybody and sell my house immediately, as fast as possible.
The father brings the boy inside the house. He doesn't understand what's going on, but the father just keeps repeating that he's okay. He's safe now. The next day, the father is on the phone with their local priest. He knows how crazy this sounds, but the police didn't believe him.
Well, yeah, of course.
Where else to turn. The priest tells him not to worry, that he will be there soon to take care of it. The priest arrives at the house with 2 assistants and tells the father that it would be best if he and his son leave. The boy is crying, pleading with them not to hurt the nice woman in the fountain. The father has to struggle to restrain his son, but eventually is able to get him out of the house. I
do feel kind of bad for the kid, because obviously, like, this woman, first off, he thinks it's his mother. So, you know, he thinks that his dad is trying to hire a priest to, like, exorcise the fountain and get rid of his mom. So that kind of stinks. And also, too, it's not like the woman is bad. Like, it seemed like the woman was kind of, like, trying to comfort the kid and wasn't really doing anything that harmful. So I feel like the dad maybe could have reacted a little bit better. Obviously, you know, it would be kind of crazy to have a woman living in your fountain, but it's not like she's doing anything bad, right? So it's like, just let her do her thing, and then you do your thing, and then maybe, you know, you just leave each other alone, right? Or maybe not, I don't know.
Once they're gone, the priest turns to his assistants. He takes off his shirt to reveal a tactical vest underneath emblazoned with the SCP logo, as his assistants do the same.
What?
Time for containment.
What? The SCP are
out into the
priests?
backyard towards the fountain and the anomalous creature that lives there.
What are they gonna do?
Hi, I'm Dr. Bob.
Hi, Dr. Bob.
This is SCP-054, also known as the water nymph.
Is it actually his mom?
SCP-054 is the designation that the SCP Foundation has given to an anomalous entity with some very strange properties. Made up of 9 liters of what appears to be completely normal spring water, SCP-054 most often appears in the form of a female humanoid, but it is capable of a variety of forms, such as other humanoids and simple geometric shapes. It is unknown just how it is capable of taking and holding these shapes, or how it moves around once it does so, since all tests performed so far have failed to show any thermal, electromagnetic, biological, or other phenomenon present in its body.
So she's
that could
just
explain
water.
Its abilities. Whenever SCP-054 enters a body of water, it will become indistinguishable from the surrounding water, and it appears that it must fully submerge itself on occasion in order to replenish its full volume, which is constantly being reduced through normal evaporation. Water that has evaporated off of the anomaly has also been collected by the Foundation, and it too is indiscernible from regular water and exhibits no special properties. After its discovery, SCP-054 was moved to Site-08 for containment, where additional research and study of the creature could take place.
Okay, that makes
Its
sense.
special containment cell was made watertight and equipped with a specialized climate control system, as well as an ornate fountain filled with fresh spring water. Surprisingly, the entity seemed to enjoy its new home and appeared happy to interact with Foundation researchers, guards, and maintenance staff, frequently mimicking their forms often in a playful manner.
That's kind of cool.
While at first, 054 would retreat back into its fountain when it wasn't interacting with staff, as time went on, it seemed to grow more and more comfortable, and eventually came to spend almost all of its time outside of the water. Though it would still always return back to the safety of the fountain and disappear into the water when attempts were made to extract samples directly from its body. Though it avoided having its water drawn, it was through a variety of different tests by SCP researcher Dr. Seskel that much of the Foundation's knowledge of SCP-054 was gained. Though whether the methods researchers used to acquire this information were appropriate is up to you to decide.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe they did some not so good tests on the SCP, which I completely understand, especially like the SCP, their job is to figure out what this SCP is, if it's safe, if it's Euclid class, if it's Keter class and super dangerous, so that they know how to contain it a lot better. But at the same time, it seems like, you know, on the surface, like this SCP is super friendly. It's basically just like a person or like a humanoid-esque creature that can mimic other people. And it like just liked hanging out in its fountain, and it doesn't really want to hurt anybody. So I don't really know what they did to it. I hope that it's nothing too bad, but I guess we'll find out.
In a test dubbed the Water Loss Experiment,
That doesn't sound good.
SCP-054 was denied access to water.
Okay, that's
As a
kind of messed
result,
up.
Its shape changed, with 054 becoming more compact, most likely in order to reduce its surface area
Well,
as much
yeah.
as possible and reduce the rate of evaporation that occurred.
What else can it do?
For the first few days after access to water was removed, it would happily greet anyone who entered its containment cell, which may indicate that it was attempting to charm staff into providing water. When after a few days its water supply was still not turned on, it stopped acting especially cheery, perhaps realizing that its happy disposition was doing nothing to advance its cause.
I mean, maybe, or it's just a happy individual. It's like just super excited and happy to see people and like interact with people. And then it would be like if I was put in a cell and I wasn't given food or water or like anything that I kind of, needed to survive. And I was pretty much just like in a prison and I was starving and like I couldn't do anything. Of course, I would be probably pretty mad and kind of sad and really hungry at the same time. So I'm sure that that's what this what the SCP is going through.
In an extreme temperature test, researchers were authorized to experiment with subjecting SCP-054 to temperatures below 0
They're going
degrees
to
Celsius.
try to freeze her?
The entity became more and more
No.
lethargic as the temperature in the testing area was lowered.
Dude, this
and
is messed
eventually
up.
Froze completely. Ice chips were collected for study,
what is
but analysis
happening?
revealed no abnormalities or differences from standard water.
No.
The opposite test was also performed, and the temperature was raised
what?
to
No.
95 degrees Celsius.
Wait, she's just going to
shy of the
evaporate.
100-degree boiling point of water. 054
What?
became very aggressive as the temperature approached
Well,
the
yeah.
upper threshold at which water can remain a liquid, and it attempted to escape the testing enclosure.
I would
Researchers
too.
noticed that following this test, the entity became increasingly resistant to being moved from its containment cell to the testing area, likely fearing that the researchers intended to do it harm.
That's so messed
SCP-054's
up.
memory was tested as well, and it proved very skilled at solving puzzles and navigating mazes. Researchers initially had an issue with motivating 054 to participate, but Dr. Seskel
Well, yeah.
discovered that the anomaly was quite responsive to the use of electrical shock.
Okay, that is so messed up, dude. The SCP Foundation, like, they literally did the worst possible things that they could to this SCP. And once again, I get it. Like, we like to figure out things that we don't know the answers to, but at the same time, like, this is not the way to do it. It is messed up what they're doing. And clearly the SCP is, like, in pain and scared and angry. So, I mean, in the long run, it's probably not the best way to go about it, since this SCP is not going to cooperate as much as they would have if, you know, they were given a happy, good, fun environment to be in. Now they're probably not going to trust the people anymore.
The researchers would often push 054 too hard in these tests, though, and soon found that they would need to give it a 48-hour rest period between any strenuous experiments. The final test performed was meant to gain some insight into how SCP-054 maintains its form, by seeing how it reacted to a hydrochloric acid solution.
What?
It unsurprisingly resisted this
Well,
test,
yeah.
and the temperature in the testing area was lowered to just above freezing in order to try and control its behavior. This did not prove to be enough, though. SCP-054 fought back against Dr. Seskel and his research assistant, seriously injuring both of them and necessitating a halt to the test. In fact, all testing on SCP-054 was stopped following this incident.
Okay,
as
that's
it
for
appeared
the
to develop
best.
an extreme mistrust of males.
Well,
who made up
yeah.
the majority of the staff who had
I
been
would
performing
too.
the tests. Following this attack on the Foundation staff, SCP-054 was classified as Euclid. However, once the tests ceased and 054 no longer had to come in contact with the research staff who were in charge of the experiments, there was a span of over 5 years without any further incidents.
What happened
Following
after
this
5
period,
years?
SCP-054's rating was downgraded to safe.
Okay,
and
that's
now
good.
seems willing to begin participating in experiments once again, though now all tests fall under the purview of Biology Unit E7, and the use of only female personnel is recommended. Though classified as safe, caution must still be maintained when working with SCP-054. Maintenance personnel are required to wear chemical suits when working inside the containment area.
That's
and
kind of
must
weird.
spend 10 minutes in a special drying room once they exit to ensure that 054 has not somehow managed to cling to any part of them. In the
Interesting.
event of a containment breach, the entire enclosure is to be flushed with liquid nitrogen to freeze the entity.
This is one of the highest requested
You're driving
SCPs.
down a desolate stretch of highway somewhere in New Mexico. There's nothing out here except for you, your car, and the road.
They always start out so
What
spooky.
you don't know is that you're about to encounter something. Something terrifying.
Of
no
course.
moon.
Okay, this is going to
The
be a Keter
sky is
class
pitch
for
black.
sure.
Your own car is barely lighting up the dark road ahead of you. Just then, you spot something in your rearview mirror.
It's not going to be a
Pair of
car.
headlights. There's nothing too strange about them. except that they are
Oh,
especially
boys.
bright. Your eyes are so adjusted to the darkness that you have to look away. When you glance in the mirror again, you see that they're closer. Much closer.
Somebody has their high
They
beams
must be
on.
going awfully fast. You don't know why, but something about the car behind you makes you feel uneasy.
Yeah, maybe it's the fact that they have massively overpowered
Maybe
headlights.
you can keep some distance from them.
Speed up.
The lights keep getting closer.
Oh, no,
As you
no,
speed up a
no.
little more. Still, they gain on you, growing bigger and bigger in your rearview mirror. You're getting nervous. They look like they are barreling right towards you. You floor it. The lights are able
Go,
to
go,
keep
go,
up
go, go,
easily,
go.
though.
How?
And now, they're right on your tail. No matter how fast you go, they stay right behind you. The
That
lights
is
are
so
bright and
weird.
Close that they're almost blinding. You're in a full-blown panic. What is going on? Now the lights are swerving back and forth behind you. What do they want? You take a sharp turn without indicating, but they follow you without difficulty.
Okay, that's the
You keep your
creepiest
foot
part.
Smashed down on the accelerator. Your engine is screaming, but they just get closer and closer. They're
Oh,
right
guys,
on
I'm
your
getting
bumper.
creeped out.
The bright white lights burn your eyes so bad that you swat at the rearview mirror to point it down. You look up just in time to see the
Whoa!
deer standing in the middle of the road. You slam on your brakes as
Wait, guys, is the deer a part of the SCP? Are they working together? Somehow does the SCP control the deer? I need answers to this.
hard as you can. Your tires squeal loudly in the night, and you brace yourself to both hit the deer and get rear-ended from behind. You stop inches from the deer as something incredible happens.
The deer didn't
two
even move.
headlights seem to split,
Huh?
passing by you on either side of your car.
It
You and the
wasn't
deer
a
lock
car?
eyes for a split second, as if you're both thinking, "What was that?" Before the deer hops away into the night. You don't know what's happening, but you're not going to wait around to find out. You throw the car in reverse and hit the gas.
Okay, guys, I want you to comment down below what you would do in that particular situation. I mean, at the start, I would probably, if I am on a road in the middle of the desert, and somebody is riding my butt, I would probably tell them to, like, pass. Like, usually if you're driving, you could be like, hey, if you want to speed, you could go in front of me. And I would start with that. And then if they didn't do that, then I would get really creeped out. I would probably call my mom and have my mom come pick me up because my mom would fight them. But if that doesn't work, and then I kept going faster and the headlights split and swerved around me, I would probably think that it's like two motorcycles that were riding next to each other and they're just being weird, like playing a prank on me. And then they dodged me at the very last second. But if it wasn't that, I guess, I don't know, maybe the SCP literally is just like a light that flies around. I have no idea what it looks like yet, so I'm kind of curious to see.
Before whipping it around 180 degrees. You can't remember how far the last town was, but there's no chance you're going in the direction of those lights. You drive as fast as you can, checking your mirror constantly to see if anything is behind you.
Oh,
Nothing.
if they come back,
Just
I am going to
darkness.
freak out, boys.
You're finally safe. No, they're
Nope,
right in front
nope,
of you.
nope.
The lights
Oh,
somehow
no.
appear out of nowhere, right in front of your car. You turn the wheel hard to avoid a head-on collision, and you go flying off the road,
Oh,
smashing
no.
your head against the window.
Oh,
as the
dude.
car goes flipping and rolling and tumbling. The car comes to a stop.
You should have just smashed them.
Upside down, with a lone blinking turn signal dimly lighting up the surrounding field. A single headlight approaches the car.
Just a
It's not
single
moving
one.
like a vehicle. It's moving like an animal.
Oh my
You're concussed
gosh,
from the
what
accident,
is
and your
this
vision
thing?
is starting to fade. The last thing you see is a second light approaching. The next morning, the local sheriff
That's
is
it?
investigating the scene of a single car accident. Curiously, there's no body. Just
Oh
a few scraps of
my
clothing, and a
God.
pair of tennis shoes sitting neatly in the upside down.
Guys, I just got goosebumps all over my body. So whatever this SCP is, it went over and it either A, ate whoever that guy was, or B, it kidnapped the guy and like brought it back to its lair. I don't know exactly how smart this SCP is. Some of them are kind of just like animalistic in nature. Like they kind of just do the things that they got to do to survive and get food. So it could be that where they just ate the guy just to survive, or B, they have some weird sinister plans and they have like a lair, and it's a lot more intelligent than we think. Unlike me, I have 2 brain cells.
Roof of the car. Strangest, though, are the childlike handprints all over the dirty car door.
Childlike handprints?
The sheriff doesn't know what to think.
That's weird.
What the sheriff doesn't know is that he has just come upon the aftermath of an SCP-745 attack.
What?
A strange
Okay, all right. That's what we've been watching this entire time. That is insane, dude. That looks like the Pixar lamp had a child with like a velociraptor. What the actual flip? That is crazy. And obviously, it's a carnivore. Look at those teeth. They are the sharpest teeth. It basically has like dinosaur T-Rex teeth. So you know for a fact that dude is dead. That dude is deader than dead on a Tuesday morning. And the weirdest part is its mouth like isn't even on its face. It's like on its neck, which is just even more creepy.
and mysterious creature known as the headlights.
Yeah,
SCP-745
that makes sense.
is
It
the
looks like headlights.
classification the SCP Foundation has given to a bipedal nocturnal predator, whose hunting grounds are an abandoned stretch of highway in northern New Mexico. SCP-745's most distinctive feature by far is its head.
Well, yeah, it's
top
not
of
the
which is
tail.
a bloated sack of translucent skin. There are no visible
Ew.
sensory organs
Oh, it's its
present on the
brain.
head, nor does it appear to have a solid skull. And
Oh.
the creature's brain can be directly seen through the semi-transparent skin, which is covered in a web of bioluminescent organs.
So if that guy, when the headlights were running at him, if he just ran them over, he probably would have been okay. Instead, obviously, he thought it was a car, which would be way worse if you're, coming into a headfirst collision with another car. You're probably going to die. But if he knew that these were actually just like dinosaur Pixar lamps, then maybe he could have survived.
These organs are capable of producing a steady output of light that's been measured between 1400 to 3200 lumens, which is the equivalent
sounds
of
pretty bright.
xenon gas headlights.
Right, okay.
The entity has been observed to have the ability to change the color of this light.
Okay, that's
as well
really
as flash
cool.
it in specific patterns.
I need this
It
for
is
my gaming
theorized
setup.
that it engages in this behavior as a way to defend itself, and potentially may
what?
also use it as a way to communicate with other members of.
Also, guys, are you seeing this right now? It looks like this creature has more arms than... Okay, wait. Does it? I'm kind of confused. The arms are looking really weird. Like, I didn't realize that they could put their arms out to the side, so it kind of looks like they're wings. But the one on the left, I don't know. Like, the legs kind of look like feet, and the feet kind of look like hands, and I'm very, very confused.
Of its species. The rest of SCP-745's body is covered in skin that is a deep, dark, black color that almost seems to absorb light. This quality, when paired with their blindingly bright head protrusion, gives the appearance of a floating point of light in the darkness.
Whoa.
Because SCP-745 entities hunt almost exclusively in pairs, with their preferred hunting grounds being remote sections of highway, they are easily mistaken for oncoming or approaching headlights. Two SCP-745 entities are able to move together in perfect synchronicity, running in tandem at speeds up to 180 kilometers per hour. Together,
Are
they
you
will target
joking?
lone vehicles that they spot on the highway and will begin to chase or run straight towards them.
I'm also kind of curious, guys. They've mentioned that this SCP can change colors of the light that's on its forehead, but can it like turn off the light if it wanted to? That would be really overpowered because it could basically just like disappear at a moment's notice, especially if it hunts at night and the entire body is pitch black. I guess they could make the light black, but that probably wouldn't work. Honestly, you would still be able to see it. So if they could turn off the light, that would be just even more deadly.
Giving the unlucky driver the impression that a fast-moving car is rapidly approaching them. After they near the targeted car, they will attempt to stop it by any means necessary, whether by simply forcing the driver to pull over out of fear,
did they
or by running them
put
off
the
the
deer
road
there?
completely. Once their prey has stopped, crashed, or become otherwise incapacitated, the pair will stop moving together and approach the car separately to directly assault and then consume the vehicle's occupants.
Okay, so he did
Next
get
to no
eaten.
remains are left following an attack, save for a few scraps of clothing in the victim's shoes. Other than the damage sustained during the accident, there is never any other sign of struggle or forced entry, with the only other evidence left at the scene being the childlike handprints from SCP-745's small front paws.
Interesting. Okay.
Strangely, analysis of SCP-745's genetic structure has revealed that unlike humans, they are not a carbon-based life form, meaning
What?
it is unlikely
They're
then
aliens?
that they are able to derive any nutrition from the consuming of human flesh.
They're just doing it for
is
fun?
theorized then that they may be hunting solely for sport or some other form of perverse enjoyment.
What?
This question remains unanswered, as currently there are no recorded observations of SCP-745 feeding in the wild.
Well, yeah, that kind of makes sense considering that there was a deer in the road that they could have easily captured and eaten if they wanted to, but they obviously did not. And they ran this dude off the road in his vehicle and apparently killed him not because they needed to eat, but because they did it for fun, which is 10 times scarier.
As successful attacks have never left any witnesses.
Wow.
And specimens captured by the SCP Foundation refuse to eat at all. No layers, nests, or other refuge of SCP-745 has ever been found.
So they're basically
nor has
aliens.
the Foundation located any breeding grounds or young examples of the entity. It's unknown how or if they reproduce, or when they may have first appeared. What is known is that they had established a wide hunting territory across the American Southwest until Foundation teams began a program to thin their numbers in the 1960s.
1968.
The effort appears to have been successful so far, and all recent
it's
sightings
working.
of SCP-745 have been limited to a specific stretch of highway in northern New Mexico.
Okay, if you guys are there, just be on the lookout, you
has
know.
been classified as Euclid, and in order to limit potential exposure to civilians, the Foundation has purchased the land surrounding the highway, with
That's
traffic
smart.
being redirected to other roads. Foundation security teams disguised as highway patrol officers are to remove any trespassers or lost travelers who accidentally find themselves on the dangerous stretch of highway. The security teams are also tasked with attempting to capture any instances of SCP-745
How?
that they can.
Oh, with a net.
And any recovered creatures, live or dead, are to be loaded into Class 3 BCU storage containers and transferred to Site-17 for further study.
So it doesn't seem like the SCP has any like crazy abilities other than the fact that it has a giant light bulb on its brain and that can change colors. That's like the only cool ability that it seems to have. It doesn't have anything like the prototype, for example, can like make a black hole out of thin air. So it's basically like an animal in the wild, but we have animals like this, just like obviously not on land. We have tons and tons of fish in the sea that have this like same sort of bioluminescent feature where like it looks like they have a light bulb. Obviously you guys have probably seen Nemo, and there's a fish in the movie that literally has like a little tiny dangling light bulb, very similar to this SCP's light bulb that is basically like on its head, that is used as a distraction to basically get its prey to like, I don't know, just like think something different, that there's no actual danger. And then as soon as they get close enough, boom, they're dead. So it's kind of the same exact thing, but we don't have anything like it on land. I mean, unless we're counting this SCP as real.
Containment procedures that are able to preserve living specimens are still being researched, and currently, no examples of SCP-745 have survived for more than a week in captivity.
Poor guy.
However, seeing as there have been no new sightings of SCP-745 outside
Are they
of the
extinct?
isolated and monitored stretch of highway, and all reports of phantom lights elsewhere in the country have not pointed to evidence of additional SCP-745 outbreaks, they are considered to be effectively contained.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, that was definitely one of the weirdest SCP entries I've heard yet.